Hello and welcome on into Low Ink March 2022, brought to you by the Inkling Performance Lab. I am the Barry and I am joined today by Lancer. Lancer, how are you doing today?
I am doing very swell today. We've got some great low-level Splatoon coming right at you. Today for our first game, it is Squid Killers and croutons. Croutons.
Croutons. It is the croutons, obviously with a bit of a French twist, going up against Squid Killers, as you did say. And in case anyone missed it, the low level, if you're wondering out there, if you're looking and you're saying, where's my campfire, where's my four beans, my fluffy bullets, right? You're not going to see them today. They're banned. They're too good. This is Low Ink. We want to give an opportunity to the teams who are up and coming, and that is what you are here to see. We, of course, will be kicking it off with a best of 3. There are 6 rounds of this on day 1. Of course, make sure to tune in to day 2 tomorrow to catch all of the bracket action. But with that said, we're just about underway here with our first map of the day, Clamblitz Snapper Canal. How do you feel about that one, Lancer?
Interesting to see how each team will play it, since there is multiple ways to try and score in your football through a shortcut, the rail right next to the shortcut. You could also go through middle alley and try and score. It's going to be interesting what kind of comps we're going to see. We might see a little bit of maybe like a Splash-O-Matic somewhere, but not sure if any type of scope charger would work for Clamblitz, especially on this map.
Well, I am a scope charger fanatic for sure, but I will say Clamblitz not always the best mode for it. I think if we do happen to see a charger, it will probably be of the bamboo or potentially of the Squidford variety. Though I will agree with you, I think the Splash-O-Matic is something that could be coming on out here. It's always a great pick, regardless of the map, regardless of the mode. It paints so much, it's so aggressive, and it does exist in one of these comps. Thank you, Hermit, for hearing us. The bamboo coming out there from Sorella, and I like the range that we're seeing from the Squid Killers on your left in the green ink. But I will say, I think the bubbles are a niche, a little bit of an option on that forge that we don't happen to see too often anymore, but it is still a strong weapon despite what the Squeezer has done for the bubble meta.
Yeah, absolutely. As we got ourselves a quick matchup here. Oh, 2v1 on Astro. He gets taken down by I believe, Shy. As we see Hermit on the move, trying to pick up some clams. A little bit of a push coming out with Bubbles, as we see how well Bubbles can also work on this map, just for how narrow and how each team can even like push with such efficiency.
Yeah, definitely a very nice space occupier. Even if you're not looking to make a push in that moment, it will force opponents to move away from any area you're trying to take control of. A nice little jump out there from Michael over on that end up, moving from one side of the map to the other using the super jump option. Definitely a quick and easy way to escape a bad situation, but this bad situation, it's not something that's escapable. Toad and Co are getting ready to make this push here. They have 14 clams ready, and it looks like they might have to back away here. An excellent pick coming out there from the bamboo, and Astro with a double on that inkjet is going to hamper everything that's that croutons was working towards, but now that Toxic Mist will slow down any sort of push that could have come off those picks.
Those are some great inkjet shots, as we got a little bit of a push here from Squid Killers. A little bit of bubbles, but yet there is a mishand as we get one player through, and they get the pick. That is Toad, able to get through the, I think, Toxic Mist and Bubbles, just to make sure they can get that to stop them from scoring, and that's what you'll love to see here.
You do some good defense does go a long way, and while a couple of missed shots definitely led to the end of that, we've actually started to see a push come out here from croutons, and it's going to be a wipe on the side of Squid Killers. This is going to lead to a semi-decent push. They might be lacking a few clams at the moment, but if they can get it under 50, that would be incredibly strong, especially for the first push that we've seen tonight.
Solid bomb right there from Matt, able to get a pick to stop the bleeding at all. And it looks like they're going to have to try and recuperate, try and make sure they can collect their clams, make sure they can make a good push of their own.
They certainly have a lot of the map control prepared for this type of push, and with 15 clams, that's certainly enough to also get the push going, but will they be able to follow in with some additional clams? We will see right now as the armor comes out, the inkjet's going to get popped too, and I have to imagine the bubbles are next. Matt waiting for a teammate to make that football before surprising the enemy with the bubbles, but I think there's one player sitting on the left there that Matt has not seen yet that could stop this push. Well, never mind. I think they've taken a little bit too long. The armor's out for croutons, but the bubbles are out from Matt, and that is going to be a triple, I believe, for them. And that will be a push coming in for sure. They do lose that one football they had, but 2 footballs in, if they can put in 1 or 2 more clams, that is lead.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like they're going to get that. And yes, there is a pick on that side. Astro's just going to have to weigh it back. Wait for the next attempt for a push, as croutons are getting a lot more map control, as they want to try and make sure that Squid Killers doesn't even get the chance to get a lead here, as Astro gets picked. But yet, Hermit jumps out in time before Matt is even able to get the pick and try and stop more down manage right there.
And I think they're doing a good job of just not allowing Squid Killers to be able to make a football right now. We look at the clam counters, it's 14-3, now 5-3 after the football carrier goes down, and another one going down could be issues, but with only 30 seconds left, Squid Killers are going to have to work here a little bit to make this football. We've seen a bit of some miscommunications with their clam passes, and unfortunately they didn't make that football before the person with 9 clams got taken out. That is probably going to be a stop of this push, and I'm not sure if there's going to be enough time for them to make a football to continue this match into overtime.
I don't think so either, as Ember is able to get some missiles out. One pick goes down on the squeezer to the other side, but do they have 9? Nope. Ooh. They were not able to get the last clam to make a football there. In game 1, we'll go to croutons. Yes.
Yes, definitely. I think when we look back on that match, we're going to see that SK had several opportunities to make footballs and start pushes, but a lot of the struggles that teams will encounter when playing Clamblitz is all about the communication and who is making the football, who is receiving the clams, who should be passing the clams. And those struggles, unfortunately for Squid Killers, were a little bit too apparent during that match. So they do miss out on securing a first map win, but that is not to say they're out by any means. Rainmaker Starfish main stage is where we go next, and I think maybe with a little bit more of a simpler mode, we could see some of the picking power from Sorella on that bamboo, and the Inkjet from Astro should either return, possibly lead to some more points per pick.
It also helps if one player for each team will bring out the Stingray on potential pushes, trying to get the picks. I know you're a big Stingray enthusiast with Vanilla Scoped.
I do like me some Stingray from time to time. Sometimes you play the Stingray, sometimes the Stingray plays you. But certainly you're absolutely correct here. Rainmaker and Tower Control are 2 modes where Stingray will come out very, very frequently. And while I don't feel this is the best map in the world for Stingray, there's technically speaking no bad map for it when it comes to Rainmaker. A very effective way of shutting down pushes. That said, we could see some Vanilla Jet actually coming out, because the Toxic Mist does go a long way to closing off some choke points. Something that this map has quite a few of.
Yeah, I mean, slowing them down, getting a good advantage of having them slowed down, just take picks as much as you can, and we could get a really close game, hopefully. I'm not very much of the advocate for a quick pop and grab, end the game just like that. I'm not big on that. I like entertaining matches every time as we get set. I think I did see Custom Jet Or Vanilla Jet, or what is
I think we're seeing
That's
two Vanilla Jets here looking almost identical in their builds as well. But the bubbles will return for the side of croutons, but not for Squid Killers, opting instead for a little bit more aggression. I like that pick of Sploosh 7. That is something that has become more and more popular within the competitive scene, certainly for Rainmaker, as that Ultra Stamp can lead a beautiful path for the Rainmaker carrier to go.
Yeah, no doubt. As we get a pick there from... I believe that was Shy on Matt, as we get a little bit of paint coverage here. As we're seeing a lot of painting done as Astro gets a pick on Ember.
And getting away from that bubble pop as well, not going to be able to get away from the other two players firing at them. But with that jump going out, that is only going to leave this Vanilla Jet here to try to stop this push. They do actually get a beautiful pick there, stopping it before it gets too serious. 41, not a bad push, but certainly on this map, not game winner.
Ooh, almost a solid flank by the Sploosh 7, but it is going to end up as a trade. As we are getting a little bit of battle. Shy, no, that wasn't even Shy, we got pick, my bad. But it looks like Rainmaker will be able to reset. Everybody's going to have to get back into position. Map coverage, not even sure, but it looks like it's more going on the side of the croutons. And Hermit able to pop his jet with the start of the push, but a solid stamp double ends that from even happening.
Yeah, but while that stamp got a couple of picks there, it only left Michael left alive, and possibly going for the pop, the wrong thing right there. Perhaps retreating and staying alive would have been the best course of action, but as that did not happen, this is going to be a very strong push for Squid Killers, moving all the way up to 10, and Shy should just about be able to jump on out of there to safety. That is a large and strong push, to say the least. That is something that they can now play pretty defensively throughout the rest of this match without having too many worries of losing that lead.
Not really a smart move, as Matt gets taken down by the suction bomb. Wasn't even able to see it. Rainmaker does reset. Michael ready to pop when needed, but the pop does kill a guy. Or splat a guy, whatever you want to say. As croutons wants to make another push to try and take this game over, as it is a 2v4 situation. Ember able to make their push. Hermit with the pop jet, keeping them back, but there is a pick by Michael. And is Michael able to get that? That's going to be another pick, ending the run as 3 go down on the side of the croutons.
Yeah, and if you're Squid Killers here, you have a lot of work to do. I mean, that push to 41, it was not bad, but it kind of came from a moment of peace. You know, they didn't have to fight too much for it following a delayed wipe. Now they're finding a lot more resistance coming out here from the croutons, and especially with the Rainmaker carrier getting pushed. Matt not able to use that Ultra Stamp to get back in time to protect their carrier. Will eventually find the trade onto Shy, but even with that said, the position of the Rainmaker here with 90 seconds left in the match is not a very good one for Squid Killers, and Crouton could continue this push if they so desire to, but I think at the moment all they really want to do is fight for a little bit of map control and make sure they have the numbers advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. With another reset there, Matt is going to be able to pop it in time, trying to get a little bit of more map coverage as we head into a minute left into this match. Matt is able to strike. He gets his stamp out, takes one down. Rose isn't going to get another, but is going to try and keep their side of the map covered. There's another pick. Squid Killers able to push so close to ending it there. What a push by Squid Killers.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful work there from Matt on that Ultra Stamp. Obviously, you know, the aggression that the Sploosh as a main weapon can do, finding an important pick onto the end zap, but the space that it creates out of fear alone of going down to the Ultra Stamp is massive for any sort of push that Squid Killers was ever going to create here. And leading it to 5, that is an ideal spot to get the Rainmaker back to. With only 10 seconds left here in regular time, it will not look too good for croutons to make a good push back in. Although, They are able to pick up the Rainmaker. No? No.
That was Squid Killers.
Squid Killers. Apologies. Apologies. A little bit. There's a lot of moving parts in Rainmaker matches like these. Get a little turned around sometimes, but a fantastic comeback there from Squid Killers. We do see again I think the KA is kind of favoring Jukutan, but in Rainmaker all it takes is one phenomenal push, and that is what Squid Killers were able to deliver.
Absolutely. As we are heading into our last match of Splat Zone's new Albacore, what do you feel like you would see in the comps here?
Well, so far from what we've seen from these teams, both have offered plenty of mid-range weaponry. We've seen Forge come out, and I kind of expect if we've seen it twice, we'll see it 3 times. But I do expect the return of the Squeezer. Perhaps the Dually Squelchies will remain, although that might have been the same player on both. Can't have a clone of themselves, unfortunately, as much as they may like it for this map. But I would be interested to see if we see any backline weapons. Ballpoints are quite good here. E-leaders come out from time to time. Firefin would also be a pretty good choice too, to offer a bomb rush as well as the range. But ideally, I think realistically, I think we will see what these players are comfortable with. So that certainly does mean NZAPs. That certainly does mean probably a Splash-O-Matic. And I would imagine a continuation of the V-Jet.
Yeah, I'd see it happening as well. I was even about to say both teams look very, very comfortable just using shooters instead of the typical charger splatling. But that's just how it rolls sometimes. With low-level teams, you never expect what their comps can be. They could probably go for a normal setup comp with like a Slayer, backline, support player. But here you never know. You can see a lot of like Slayers, for example. You could see like 3 on one side and then have a backline, but don't really have that much of a support, as we are heading into game 3, the deciding game for this set, as we see a Kensa 52, and we get a little bit of K-Pro as well.
I believe you said something along the lines of we could see all shooters or something. I think we see. I think we see 4 shooters coming out from both teams here. Double missile on the side of SK, along with an armor and a Booyah Bomb. Didn't talk a whole lot about the Gals, but the Squid Killers here going to utilize their potent bullets that kind of hit like semi-trucks, as well as the good builds that they have. That wall and that Booyah Bomb are going to offer a lot of cover and support. In addition to the painting output that both the 96 and the 52 have. On the other side, though, we do see a K-Pro instead of the Forge, which I don't hate it, because certainly Booyah Bomb can be strong on this zone, but at the same time, I think they're going to have to look for a few more picks rather than the bubble cheats here.
Yeah, absolutely. You see Hermit trying to push out. One player jumps out on the side of Squid Killers, as there's a pick 2 down on the side of the croutons with a Booyah Bomb, able to not even save the zone, actually.
No, not even slightly close to capping that or even neutralizing it. A lot of good painting being done from the side of SK. Shy is definitely playing for a pick here, hoping that jet will push on in too far, but the 52 is with them, and that wall is going to stop any sort of picks that's happening. The missiles do find one, but I don't think there's nearly enough time to get to the zone as well. Toad might have something to say about it, though. Getting a great pick on the zone, and that Junior is the one and only weapon that really has the painting output. That's a fantastic double from Toad.
That's
saving the game. Yeah, a delayed wipe there onto SK, but Jukutan doing an amazing job. I thought the game was over. I thought the match was dead, and it was GG go next, but Toad saying no, the Junior the only one with that sort of painting output to prevent this stop. And now, if you're on the side of SK, this is danger zone. I mean, you have a massive penalty, so it's unlikely that you'll be able to get a knockout. Meanwhile, the Jukutans are slowly but surely working their way through the penalty, and they're finding important picks too here. Down 2 already, and Shy might be able to find another one on this Missler.
Yeah, they got it with the bomb there. but they are getting these solid picks as Myopsidus does come out for the side of... Oh, he missed it right into the water.
A little bit too eager to flick that Booyah Bomb right onto the correct spot. Ember not looking at the zone. This could be the loss of the zone, but instead Hermit coming back through, finding the pick on the 52, and gets a little bit of that bomb rush out, but will go down, unfortunately, as will the jumpers, and SK has retaken control of that zone. I think if you're croutons, you've missed an opportunity to knock out the match there, but they still have 2 minutes left in this match, so they do not need to focus on the past, they only need to focus on the here and now, which means removing that 52 from their left.
Yes, that is absolutely the crucial part, but there is a pick by Matt, as 2 down on the side of the croutons. Ember is trying to give as much pain as they can get so they can pop these missiles, but it doesn't look like any of them are going to the zone as the zone is neutralized. Ember goes down, but the croutons do cap the zone to try and force that penalty on the side of Squid Killers once again.
Yeah, and that penalty is definitely going to be massive for Crouton. They are able to reorganize themselves. They are, this time, all 4 of them paying out for a special. We see the Booyah Bombs just about online. The bomb rush is over there, and another missile and an armor are very, very close. So long as they can survive here against Michael's Booyah Bomb, they do. The 52 just barely making it out. Will get taken out by Shy. Needs to find another pick to move in here. Those missiles will be doing a little bit of aiding, but unfortunately, that's a full wipe onto Croutons, and as Squid Killers, I think, unless something absolutely wild happens here with this, such a small penalty, that is going to be a 2-1 set to them. Squid Killers coming through in the clutch, staving off a very solid attempt at a retake there from Croutons. Well played to both teams on this map.
It was a very intense match, I will say. Both teams definitely had their positives and negatives on each side of defending zone, trying to go into cap zone. It was just a very well overall match, and that's what you like to see in zones, honestly.
Certainly, I think zones, for a lot of players out there, is their preferred mode, but certainly to some of the more cultured, shall we say, players in the community, who understand that sometimes all it is you go in there and you occupy the zone, you stave off a few well-coordinated specials, and congratulations, GG, knockout, go next. But that's not what we saw today, and that's certainly not what we want to see through any of our upcoming matches. So definitely enjoyed seeing such a fast-paced back-and-forth matchup.
Yep. It was a very solid matchup between these two teams. Both show that they are very experienced in what they do. But this was a solid game, and we're going to be taking a quick break. We will see you guys for the next match.
points, and Crack United will force a game 3. The ballpoint goes down yet again. That ballpoint is going in. Now it's all-out rush for the left side of the zone, and now we're seeing bodies flying all over the place. 2 more players going down, make that 3 for the side of Crack United, and who's the last player standing? It's the Squeezer! And, well, they sacrificed 1 armor to do it, so the monkey paw curls. But, okay, I like the remix. This is a remix playground, and I'm sure they're aware there's a person just standing there waiting patiently for the armor, still not going in. They have to know you're there. They're staring right at you.
This is the part of Rainmaker where it really gets silly. We pop, we try to get points. Some of the most skillful maneuvering of the Rainmaker I've seen, surviving 3 specials, rotating back down, and you know, oftentimes we say diving after the Rainmaker, not really a good spot as they take the lead again. We said we'd get silly. Look at this, moving all the way through. Is this a dunk? Unreal!
I mentioned Pickup should be thrilled that it's only 59 remaining. They got all 4 of their specials ready to go, and trying to get control of the enemy bunker is Plasma yet again, being just a nuisance with this Blue 7. Takes a bad turn, somehow corrects though, is able to get 2 players down. Should have been splatted along the right side. The monkey's going to get lead when you're the one trying to break out of a lockout.
Yeah, Rain can be very, very strong here, especially if you know that the opponent is trying to set up. And as you saw right there, it plays at a very effective range from its own side of the map. And how about that? What a statement here to start off the game, Bob Gunn. Get it again!
Yes! Clip it! At a high level. Those 2 weapons are about as far from each other as it could possibly get. But now you got 3 specials ready. You got a splashdown. You got a hammer ready to go by Corona, who's trying to get in a good spot. It's a double! Smacks in the face, and that's going to be lead. Although not a huge one. This hammer could shut down everything. That hammer saved a huge...
With a very strong ballpoint Nouveau player who said, yeah, it doesn't have a special, it just has an ink refill. I just want to keep using its main weapon, and you can see why. And still pushing in here, Agent Octo's going to get a chance for a flank, get 3, has about another 4, this might be game already. They're going to have at least 1 special, but it's denied. Hayden's there, trying to stop this before they end up getting the lead. And what? Hayden wins the
And now there's the last player alive! And they reset it! This is amazing! Wow! 20 seconds left to go now!
And the Squeezer with the first pick of the game after like a minute
into the game. That's crazy. Again, just shows how both of these teams are now figuring out each other's playstyle. They want to be really careful with this.
Hold on! How? How do people get away with these?
To the timer, delay Eufish's potential push and make it even more difficult.
Yeah, and I mean, that's really all that Marine Melody needs to do at this point is, you know, slowly take time off the clock. They don't need to make a hero play at this point. They are 2 down, so they do need to play some defense. Oh, the Nautilus decides to take a little swing.
Welcome on back to Low Ink of March 2022. We're here with round 2 of our Play All 3 Swiss. We will be watching right now Boston Squid Party versus the Cosmic Court. Moving on into Tower Control, Sturgeon Shipyard, Lancer. Talk me through this map.
It's a map. No, I'm kidding.
Excellent.
Yep, that's good analysis right there, everybody. But yeah, this map is interesting with like 3 different routes in. Oh wait, sorry, I was randomly in the mindset of Rainmaker.
Rainmaker, which is also a good map, but no routes for Tower Control other than the one only that's been drawn out by Nogami himself.
Yeah, Nogami-san. It is interesting with the amount of sniping leverage that you can get on either side of the map. So I won't be surprised if we do see some scoped splatter scope or splatter shot or chargers. That
splatter scope, yes, that's the winner right there.
Maybe an E-leader. You never know.
You do never know, but I will go out on a limb here. From my time in solo queue, I would wager a guess that Sherbert will be on the Tri-Slosher. Whether it's the Nouveau or the Vanilla, I'm not quite sure. But what we're all curious about is... I've just noticed that our captain's gone. The captain of Cosmic is a player by the name of Goober. And we're all very excited to see Goober. Hopefully in a bit. And hopefully on the YouTuber. But for the time being, I am sure Midnight, Nuki, Pipe Dream, and Ban will be putting on a splendid performance as we move on into this first map.
Alright.
And I eagerly await to see what weapons will be picked. That pause was a little bit too long.
It was awkward, yes.
It was. There's the Tri-Slosher.
Yeah, we gotta try.
There's the Splatter Scope as well that you were calling for. And on the other side of things, we do see a K-Shot, a Hero Roller, which I quite like, a Bamboo, and a custom Hydra Splatling. Those are 2 weapons that I don't tend to see a lot in combination, but they might find a little bit of a struggle going against the armor that will be provided by the Junior over on the side of Boston Squid Park.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I like about low-level teams. Sometimes their setups are a little bit unorthodox, but they can work if done correctly, as we see Cosmic Court take the tower for its first ride of the day, and a little good pick by Sherbert, but Cosmic Court is able to get it to the first checkpoint, waiting it out, and they do get it through, as that is a crucial start for Cosmic Court. But Sherbert able to hit a flank a little bit. 3 down on the side of
Boston Squid Party, and with only the Junior alive, that is going to be a difficult checkpoint to contest. This is already moving towards a knockout. A nice shot there from Metallic, but they're going to need to help their team out here a little bit in stopping this push. And with just that K-Shot alive, it could be a defense well done, but I think the GG Ray, well, this was far from a GG Ray yet, but it is going to give them some reprieve from what looked to be an almost game-winning push initially, hopefully finding their footing within these next couple of seconds. But Midnight might not give them the time they need. Sherbert does find a nice splashdown cancel there, and is going to the high ground where all Tri-Sloshers thrive. I don't know. Tri-Sloshers thrive everywhere. High ground, low ground, they don't care.
It doesn't matter. You know, they always get good things. Just get close to them, you know. They'll take you down.
But as they are looking to do right now, to say the least, getting a little bit stuck on that wall, a funky little movement. But that splashdown is intimidating. Will go down to Midnight, and Midnight's not done just yet. Trying to find the pick, finds the crush instead. That is a nice bomb there from Italics on the Splatter Scope, but they are the last alive, and with no checkpoints in the way, this could be wait out the Ray and maybe a strong push.
Yeah, they got a pick from that, but the Hydra will be back on tower, able to get the pick on Sherbert. But they're gonna let this tower move back, try and get a little bit more map coverage, even though they already have enough map coverage here. Pipe Dream's been solid with Hydra so far in this match, but we got Rona out of Boston Squid Party making a push, getting 2 picks with the Luna Blaster. Could they get a third? Does not seem like they will, as the opponent will hide in pit, but they get them with the bomb. Solid
They
bomb
should be able to
throw
see that jump down there as well, but it looks like they're going to have missed it. Kind of waiting for someone to come to them in mid, and instead, Van, not aware of the Luna's presence, will move in, which is not something that I would have advised. Nuki does eventually find the trade onto that Luna, finally putting an end to their terror. But it may only be temporary, as the map control has started to swing back in the favor of Boston's Squid Party, and with Sherbert finding that pick onto Nuki, this is finally a push from Boston's Squid Party. Some checkpoints to get through, but there is an opportunity for points.
That push did not last long, as Towers can be moving back, but wait! We do have a 3-down situation for Boston Squid Party. They're gonna be able to make their first big push as they set up on checkpoint 1. Solid pick on an attack attempt. Rona able to stay inside of Cosmic Court's base, but the solid pick by Midnight. Another pick on the side of Boston Squid Party, as it is 3 down on the side of Boston Squid Party, trying to hold out on tower. Can they get it? No, they will get picked. That is unfortunate. Almost getting through checkpoint 2 to possibly take lead here.
It was a valiant effort there from Metallics just to keep that push alive, dancing on the tower, and nearly broke through that checkpoint too. They have at least put their team in a good position to potentially keep this push, a follow-up push, going. But with 1 down already, they might have to play this a little bit slower than their attempt to. Another nice snipe there from Metallics, looking to find one more pick for getting stuck in some ink, allowing for the team to come back in, and finally that armor will come out from the junior as well. The Stingray used on the Hydra, if it's able to find 1 or 2 picks, could be crucial to this, but sadly it doesn't seem like that's going to happen, and I think an armor came out from Cosmic Court as well. 2 down on the side of Boston Squid Party, and that's another 2 down. A good hold there from Cosmic Court, but certainly something that looked to be brewing for Boston Squid Party. Nearly bringing it back.
Boston Squid Party definitely had a chance to take lead at any given point, but Cosmic Court was able to make their own push on defense just to make the stops. Just to make sure that maybe not every push is going to be a good push. And what I can say is that this was just a very solid defensive game. Each team knowing where they were checkpoint-wise, where they were tower push-wise. 11 for the side of Cosmic Court, 22 for the side of Boston Squid Party. They just knew that defense had to come to play, and they definitely did.
Yeah, and I would also say that offensively, I think both teams looked strong once they were able to get their pushes going. I think certainly because maybe Boston Squid Party were caught a little off guard with how fast Cosmic Court were playing that at the start. Realistically, if they are just able to compose themselves and prevent the second checkpoint from being stopped, or from being broken, my apologies, that match could have easily gone to them. I think realistically, Cosmic Court looked a little bit frazzled, a little bit disorganized and disoriented when Boston Squid Party finally had their push going. So there is promising signs for both teams here to take this to a game 3, with the match being tied up 1 apiece.
Yep. And everybody gets ready for their favorite player on Cosmic Court, as Goober is here.
Goober has arrived. And Goober will be joining on in here, as well as, I think there was another substitution, maybe 2 substitutions on the side of Boston Squid Party as well. Pat, Jay, and Dory coming in. We'll be interested to see what this brings for comp changes as we move on to Humpback, Pump Track, Glam Blitz. Certainly a tricky map, and one where I think I'm actually surprised not to see Sherbert's trying to spot here.
Yeah. I mean, again, Bamboo can go a long way on Glam Blitz no matter what, depending on if you choose Mark 1, Mark 3. Missiles or bubbles help. Yeah, Mark 2 if you're going to be that time today. As we see a Hydra still on the side of Cosmic Court. Pipe Dream showing that you can even use Hydrate on Clam Blitz no matter what. As we have a solid comp for both sides. The Luna is back for Rona on the side of Boston Squid Party. As Midnight's going to try and get as much map coverage in mid as they can.
Yeah, certainly trying to find some picks, but we'll go down to Caleb, who was assisted by that armor there. I will say it is a very short-range comp on the side of Boston Squid Party, but perhaps they can overwhelm, and certainly they can probably outpaint as well between the Junior and the Splash-O-Matic. Should be having loads of map control, but that said, they are now 2 down, and they're going to have to retreat as Midnight with an armor and a splashdown will be looking to find a pick. That map control is actually looking quite green, as I think Pipe Dream is going to have a bit of a daydream here, going against so few weapons that can actually challenge them for range. But as Rona is able to get that pick, not quite in a timely enough fashion to prevent the football from going in, so it will be an initial breaking of the basket for Cosmic Court. But now we start to see the effects of going 3 down. A lot of map control lost, a lot of clams given over, and a double from the splashdown is going to lead to a big push for Boston Squid Party.
That's wipe. That was a great splashdown opportunity, and now Boston Squid Party is able to get the lead on a push. We got Pat. Jay goes down on a potential lead on keeping away the side of Cosmic Court as Boston Squid Party just keeps scoring. Caleb and Goober. Goober's on Cosmic Court, but they're just keeping this push as they make it down all the way to 9. Caleb's still getting solid picks alone, and that's going to end the push, but Caleb staying on the side gets another pick. Caleb able to hold his own on the opposing side. That takes determination and some solid flicks.
Yeah, Caleb doing so much work over there. I think finding 3 picks, but what the best part of what Caleb did there was buying time for their teammates to make it back to mid. After going 3 down, you would think, Boston Squid Party not going to be able to hold on to map control. Here comes the counter push, but no, Caleb delayed, found picks, reset Cosmic Court, and has led to having not just a map advantage, but a total clam advantage as well. 10 clams for the side of Boston Squid Party, with a lot in mid if they can get there, while the other team, Cosmic Court, not quite able to find as many clams at the moment.
And now we can see Boston Squid Party just making sure that they're right now they are holding back. Try to play on the defensive side, not really going for a push since they have this big lead. And I'm just wondering when we might actually have a push. I was about to say, when are we gonna get a push on the side of Cosmic Court as they get 2 footballs inside? Pipe Dream trying to stay alive, but it looks like they will get picked and go 3 down.
Yeah, certainly being the Hydra pushed all the way up there. Not the most ideal position, but what was ideal for them was getting some more points on the board. That does put a little bit more pressure on the side of Boston Squid Party to keep fighting for clams, keep fighting for mid. It is no longer a foregone conclusion that they have total control of this match, but as I commentator curse that, they have now taken a decent approach here to trying to end this match. Caleb able to find another pick onto the roller there, and has continued making problems for the side of Cosmic Court. If a clam is able to get there in time, and it is, they just need these past 2. Dory has the clams, might even be able to score them both, and will score it to end it, sending us to a 1 apiece set as we are now going to be looking for a very highly contested Game 3.
I'm shocked that Dory was even able to slip right in there and score those final 2 clams. Another solid push by the side of Boston Squid Party. I'm pretty sure they've got to be practicing on this map every once in a while, because this was just a solid performance on their end.
I would agree with you entirely. I think certainly Caleb has had quite the pop-off in that match, and that came at the most instrumental of times during both of the major pushes coming out from Boston Squid Party. could not have come more in clutch. But I think the fact that we're seeing so many substitutions, so many rotations, I think that demonstrates that the team has a very good knowledge of what they want to do on that map. I mean, if you're dropping a Tri-Slosher on Clams on Humpback, you must know something about your team and how you play it.
Yep. So
that will take us on to Black Belly Escape Park Rainmaker. Now, this is one of my favorite Rainmaker maps. How do you feel about it, Lance?
I'm at odds with it.
Oh no! What has this done to you?
I don't know. Sometimes it's fun, but then sometimes you somehow get KO'd in 30 seconds.
Okay, you're absolutely right. Because I remember probably for the last, I think 3 or 4 IPL tournaments I've watched, I have seen a Black Belly Rainmaker match that has ended within about 30 seconds on the first push or something like that. But that is not to say that this map doesn't offer a lot of quality opportunities for an extended, drawn-out, heavily contested matchup. It just really depends if one team gets a solid Stingray off. Because if they do, then that can kind of be the game. But if they don't, then it's going to be... no lead is safe here, all the way until the end.
Yeah, absolutely. But I want to know, like, I think we might still see the Hydra coming out on the side. I believe that was from...
That was from Pipe Dream, and I believe Pipe Dream has been substituted out. Yeah, so I think probably a smart move for Cosmic Court as heavy weapons, not always the most reliable on Rainmaker. It's such a fast-paced mode, and certainly for the last match of Clams, another fast-paced mode. Hydra, a very stationary weapon, will find itself sometimes not quite wanting to be where it needs to be to make an impact on that match. So,
and that definitely showed again in the last match, as I'm not sure. Yeah, Pipe Dream wasn't really able to stop most pushes, at least.
And to be fair, often finding themselves in a 1vx situation, not an easy thing to do, but certainly being able to match the fast-paced comp that we saw coming out from Boston Squid Party is what Cosmic Court is going to need to look to do.
Yeah, absolutely. But oh yeah. But I wonder, will we be able to see Sherbert go in with a Tri-Slosher today, or just in this game right here, to try and even the odds, make pushes, get picks? You might see some of that, hopefully.
Certainly the map for them. I think I would have said that Pump Track was the map for them, but if there's a secondary map where Tri-Slosher can succeed beyond Humpback, it is Black Belly. The court, all of the arches, the curvatures of the map, it is something that Tri-Sloshers do very, very well on. And while it's not Black Belly zones, they still should have a lot of influence over what happens here.
As we do see that try coming out, and a try on the other side as well for both. Yeah, Nuki with it. And we do see a Bamboozler by Ban on Cosmic Court, so that'll be interesting to see what they can do with the Bamboo, as we get an early pop here. We were able to stay back and make sure that they can get the map control before being able to pick up the Rainmaker.
And I think one of the crucial things that Cosmic Court has done that could lead to their success here, they are running a double armor comp, which against a team with a Stingray that we'll be seeing here from Italics, could come up crucially for them. That said, every time you armor, their Rainmaker character will not be sharing in that armor, meaning that they'll go down more consistently than not. And with only Midnight there on the roller flank going down finally as well, that's going to lead to an opportunity here for Boston Squid Party to make their counter push of their own.
Solid wipe again on the side of Boston Squid Party as they want to make their own push. Baller stolen out by Rona, popped out, but not going to get a pick there. Trying to stay alive, but gets taken down by Midnight, who also goes down and is now a 3v2 situation. Italics trying to make their push in to take lead. It's tied, but they won't get it as Goober is able to make the pick on the Rainmaker.
Somehow surviving 10 missiles on top of them. Italics did take it to that tie, 52-52. To be fair, not getting lead there, not the biggest deal in the world, because I think anything shy of about 25 is far from a sizable lead to feel comfortable with. But we will see Boston Squid Party being able to shut down this push. I don't mind the closed half-pipe push, but it is a position that can be very, very strong for the defending team if they have a successful stop and are able to start pushing the Rainmaker up this right side path, as Boston Squid Party are starting to look to do. They do go one down, and the bombs coming out from Cosmic Court will slow the proceedings here, but Sherbert is still up there. Commentator Curse once again. Ban finding a nice pick there with the Bamboozler. Or maybe it's the Bamboozler. Leading to a delayed wipe, and the missiles will come out pretty early, so they have good information too on where the players from Boston Squid Party will be trying to push in on this defense.
And Boston Squid Party able to get into pipe as they stop Rainmaker from making any further points here. Sherbert's going to try and move up, try and get some picks. Takes out one. Rona also popping out Baller. Try and get some ground painted. Solid move so far. 2 down on the side of Cosmic Court, and lead is taken. Ooh, that's a pop and kill. Rona trying to make more of a move. They do get enough points to make it down to 33. Solid push, but it's still not over here, as we still got a minute 45 left.
Almost definitely not. Plenty of time here for Cosmic Court to take this Rainmaker past 33, and it would be a crucial pick if they were able to find Italics before Italics is able to jump out here with this Stingray. I think with that now about to be online and 2 already down on the side of Cosmic Court, that is going to be another solid stop, and we always see Sherbert making a very quick entry here into Cosmic Court's spawn, trying to find a few picks. Does lead to an assist on Midnight, but Ban will eventually get the trade out there. Ban has often been in the last player alive situations here, and not quite finding a fast enough pick there on Luna Blaster to stop the other members of Boston Squid Party from jumping in and helping continue this push. But again, Ban's the last one alive and needs to find 2 picks to stop this knockout from happening.
Oh, they got the pick on the Rainmaker just in time, right before they can even slam it down. Wow,
I think that was Midnight coming in with a roller to stop that at 1, but certainly a lot of damage done.
Oh, solid takedown there. Goober's trying to pop some armor here, making sure that Boston Squid Party is not able to get a knockout before they can even take the Rainmaker, hoping for a reset at least, or not. They're going to take Rainmaker right now. Ban on the move, trying to head towards half pipe.
Yeah, I think they were rightfully so a little bit too worried about how many players were next to the Rainmaker, but with that said, they now have to survive against Rona's Luna Blaster and Italic's Stingray, and with just Midnight jumping in to try to get that final pop, not going to have the popping power as that Splat Roller to send this match into overtime. Definitely a lot of the pushes that we saw coming out from Cosmic Court getting shut down by Italic's Stingray, and beautiful Ks coming out from Boston Squid Party. I do have to say, I think a very deserved winner in that map, and overall taking the 2-1 victory ahead of Cosmic Court.
Yeah, Cosmic Court able to keep their composure, making good moves, good pushes, but Boston Squid Party was able to upend them, get their own big push, almost knocking it out in the first place. We had ourselves again, I'd say almost another evenly matched set here between these two.
Oh, I'd say very evenly matched. Yeah, definitely 2 teams that looked in control throughout various moments of these 3 maps that we saw. And I think, again, both teams have some situations where they could improve upon, but a lot of things to look at and be very pleased with how they performed.
Yeah, absolutely. As we will be waiting for round 3 to set up, we're going to be taking a quick break once again, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes.
The Nautilus is installed, and since they took the lead, that is what they wanted the entire time.
It's a wipe!
It is a wipe! They're going on the home stretch here. It's just the Squiff left alive. The Ray's coming out. They have the tower secured. It's just the...
He needs to get down! He needs to get down! Oh, he got... Where's Adam? Adam's going to be jumping out!
At a high level. Those two weapons are about as far from each other as it could possibly get. But now you got 3 specials ready. You got a splashdown. You got a hammer ready to go by Corona, who's trying to get in a good spot. It's a double! Smacks in the face, and that's going to be lead. Although not a huge one. This hammer could shut down everything. That hammer saved when you're the one trying to break out of a lockout.
Yeah, rain can be very, very strong here, especially if you know that the opponent is trying to set up. And as you saw right there, it plays at a very effective range from its own side of the map. And how about that? What a statement here to start off the game, Bob Gun. Get it again!
Yes! Clip it!
To the timer delay Eufish's potential push and make it even more difficult.
Yeah, and I mean, that's really all that Marine Melody needs to do at this point is, you know, slowly take time off the clock. They don't need to make a hero play at this point. They are 2 down, so they do need to play some defense. Oh, the Nautilus decides to take a little...
And the Squeezer with the first pick of the game after like a minute
into the game. That's crazy. Again, just shows how both of these teams are now figuring out each other's playstyle. They want to be really careful with this.
Hold on. How do people get away with these?
Here come the missiles, able to find people scouted out, using this Rainmaker shot as cover. And brings in the rest of AD behind him. They're going for it. They're trying to take some of their own counter pick. But the hammer gets free. The Sploosh stays alive. Kate is still up.
Oh, you can't. No, you can't. I was about to say, you can't.
Not as many armors as you would get with a spammy weapon, but you can bet those armors will be used well. We've got the fizzies as well on that kit, so that's going to be really, really nice for making paths and clearing the area. Already, though, we've got Clownfish here taking a pretty aggressive style. This try here getting a nice double over these ledges, getting a triple. What a way to start off that.
It's denied. Hayden's there, trying to stop this before they end up getting the lead. And what? Hayden paying and now
there's a last man alive! And they reset it! This is amazing! Wow! 20 seconds left to go now! and Crack United will force a game 3. The ballpoint goes down yet again. That ballpoint is going in. Now it's all-out rush for the left side of the zone, and now we're seeing bodies flying all over the place. 2 more players going down, make that 3 for the side of Crack United, and who's the last player standing? It's the Squeezer.
Hello? But however, they do have the tower pushing. They got the Booyah Bomb to come out, missiles coming out. Now they're pushing together. It was a sacrifice worth being made, as the lead could be contested here.
That's the right tower is so close to getting this. Look at the nice triple. Look at the nice triple from the Squeezer.
And, well, they sacrificed 1 armor to do it, so a monkey paw curls. But, okay, I like the remix. This is a remix playground, and I'm sure they're where there's a person just standing there waiting patiently for the armor. Still not going with it. They have to know you're there. They're staring right at you.
This is denied. Hayden's there, trying to stop this before they end up getting the lead. And what? Hayden wins the
and now it's the last player alive! And they reset it! This is amazing! Wow! 20 seconds left to go now!
And the Squeezer with the first pick of the game after like a minute
into the game. That's crazy. Again, just shows how both of these teams are now figuring out each other's playstyle. They want to be really careful with this.
Hold on. How do people get away with these?
Like they're losing the entire time anyway, so it's not like they got to change anything. And now they're taking the Rainmaker. They're trying to get leave. Toxic Mist coming out at the perfect time.
Jumps come in, and this hammer tries to stay alive for as long as possible. The Sploosh is trying to keep this Rainmaker from popping. They end up getting 3 down. They take the Rainmaker!
Welcome on back in to Low Ink March 2022. On to round 3 of Swiss we go, Lancer, and we get to see 2 teams that will be playing on Splatoon's Inkblot Art Academy. These 2 teams, of course, being Ink or Swim or Aim for the Knees.
Good name.
Good names. Yeah, I mean, you can aim at any part of the Inkling, it still counts as equal damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. But why not aim for the knees?
Aim for the knees, you know?
They're weak. They're heavy. Mom spaghetti.
Mom spaghetti, yeah.
But what would you expect to see coming on out here from this Splatoon's Inkblot Art Academy match?
Chargers. Maybe some bubbles, some booyah bombs. Except just for that mid part, that doesn't work out well for booyah bombs. You're only basically painting the top portion of
part of the zone. Yes.
Yes. But yeah, I do expect some chargers, some armor, bubbles are pretty crucial.
Make a bold prediction here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say we see a Nautilus.
Ooh, that's a good prediction there.
Yeah. It's a strong weapon. It provides a lot of suppressing fire, and having that inkjet coming out can put a lot of pressure on the other team's plat.
Okay, you're saying 79. All right, I was about to ask 47 or 79. That's
You don't go the baller route.
I don't really go with the baller route anyway.
No one goes the baller route.
Yeah.
Anymore. They used to.
It's not good. There it is!
I might be familiar with them as a player. They are. Summer is coming out here with that ballpoint. Not ballpoint. Nautilus. Wow. Can't even keep it straight in my head. Double armor from both teams here, and double V jets as well. Both teams going to be offering plenty of missiles from their backline support, as well as a lot of armor to try to avoid taking damage from these missiles. As we see one down on each side. iOS already having a strong top-mid presence, but not having a lot of control on the outskirts of the map. Will be forced to jump out here as that Nautilus gets taken out as well. And Dell on the Tri-Slosher going to be able to do a little bit of work here, trying to push up into an aggressive position, but might wait for an armor to be online first.
Yeah, we're seeing a very solid comp here, or painting comp for Aim for the Knees, as Tri-Slosher Junior and Neo Splasher-Matic, they're all very great painting weapons. And then the missiles coming from the Vanilla Jet is also a solid one with a bomb kill, 2 bomb kills, I believe.
Yeah, I think right there in that situation, maybe not quite the right spot to be as a lone player, not having a teammate in that situation to fight alongside of you. Not the most opportune time to try to take some engagements, but it has, unfortunately for Aim for These, led to Ink or Swim. Sorry, I had to make sure it wasn't Swim or Sink. I got a little messed up there.
We're now making our own advertisements here, everybody. Wednesday nights.
Tune into SOS Wednesday nights. But with all that said, during all of this commotion from the commentary booth, iOS has been able to hold on to the zone for a good portion of time here, getting their score down to 34 before a penalty gets put on them. They are going to continue trying to fight for mid-control, but with one member of each team going down, I don't know that they're going to be able to get it clean.
Yeah, I don't think so. Summerpuss able to get a pick on the Inkjet, as we see iOS making their cap here. 2 down on the side of Aim for the Knees, as there's another pick again by Jet, and there might be a chance here that they get out of this penalty.
Yeah, the penalty is fading away very quickly here, and the missiles will be coming out for iOS. They also have that armor ready to come out from the NZAP, as they're going to use it right now to try to contest holding on to the zone through this bomb rush, and it looks like they may have done just enough not to have it neutralized on them and lose the control of the zone. And that's actually going to be a fantastic pick, a game-saving and a teammate's life-saving pick from the Tri-Slosher. But Spindle will be able to find the trade. I don't think there's going to be enough to do anything to stop the zone, though, for the side of Aim for the Knees. And that's going to be a 1-0 lead to Ink or Swim.
I wonder... I think the commentator jinx doesn't work on me. It must only work on you, because after saying that, it just happened.
I think I do enough commentary curse for both myself and my commentary partner all the time, so you will be in the clear as long as you're here with me.
I think so. But yeah, it was a solid matchup again. Solid painting comp for the side of iOS. They definitely held their own when they could. Good defense when they had zone. Good pushing when they didn't have zone and wanted to cap. It was a solid game as we are heading in to Tower Control Manta Maria. What do we expect here?
Well, I think based off of what we saw in that last match, both teams offered basically the same comps. I mean, certainly in their backline and their 2 support players, they were nearly identical. But then that one weapon that can get a little bit more aggressive, the Neo Splash, is something that could make a return. There's never a bad map for it, as said earlier in the stream. But I also would say that the Nautilus can do a lot of good work here too. So, truthfully, I don't know how much of a difference we're going to see from the comps. Perhaps you see the custom Jet Squelcher come out instead of the vanilla Jet, but beyond that, I don't see a lot of changes coming in.
Yeah, I agree with the switch between vanilla to custom Jet, since you're able to get some better map coverage with burst bombs and also have a ray at the ready whenever you need it to stop a push from potentially taking out a checkpoint, or if they're just at the cusp of winning the game. So we will definitely have to see which jet they'll be using for this match.
We'll just have to wait and see if there's any jets at all. I mean, we know one will be there, the JHET jet, but will there also be a vanilla jet? There will. And will there be another vanilla?
Both vanilla.
Yeah. I think we do see one change. Spinda going from that splash to Octoshot, going to offer an jet of their own. But again, these comps nearly identical. The only really large differences are in their Slayer choices, and one team goes for NZAP, the other team goes for Junior.
Yeah. I mean, NZAP does have a little bit better range, but I think Junior's able to lay out more paint so you can get your armor out faster. As we see Meg laying down some cover fire, trying to start a push here for iOS. As we can see, again, these backline weapons have been very crucial for the side of iOS in the first place. Some good Nautilus plays and some solid moves from the Jet. But we do see Aim for the Knees making their push, and almost taking out checkpoint 1, but solid stop. I believe that was Semipus.
Yeah, definitely that Inkjet helped slow things down, but I think if you're Aim for the Knees, you've misplayed that opportunity a little bit. You wait out the Inkjet and you make sure you get the recall. 2 things they didn't do, it ended up leading to one of their deaths, and unfortunately for them, not able to break that checkpoint. So now iOS with the opportunity to get a push of their own going, they will use this armor to start the push, but with 2 down for them now, I don't think they're going to be able to continue a whole lot further.
I also just realized iOS does have, both teams I think have double armor setups here.
Yeah, same as last map. Once again, I mean, we're living in the era of armors and missiles.
Not fun when
you're going as well as anyone.
Yeah, not fun when you're a Charger though, right?
Most definitely not. Which may be why we don't see a Charger in this map. Jet doing a good job of pressuring that bunker, but again, iOS kind of, I think, a little bit disorganized here with their pushes. We see a lot of individual efforts trying to find openings and picks, but realistically, if they're coordinating their armors and they're able to push together, I think that would lead to a much stronger opportunity. On the counter side of things, though, Aim for the Knees has broken that first checkpoint, as they have been able to group up a bit and take control of that top left position moving forward. And that is a very strong spot to have control of if you want to break through that first checkpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, this mode is definitely more of the team-oriented. There is definitely no way you can have it where I'm just going to be able to push tower by myself and get these picks, as we do see 3 down on the side of Aim for the Knees. Angel's going to try and make a push to fend off the enemies as soon as they can, and iOS is going to make their push for the first checkpoint. They will get past it. They could take the lead, but that doesn't mean that this game is going to be over, as they will take lead. Jet trying to fend off a flank attempt as they're heading over to the second checkpoint right now.
And Jet did a great job there of chaining that second armor to continue this push, and has led to Semperus being able to pop this Inkjet in a very dangerous position. This is starting to look a little bit worrying for Aim for the Knees. 2 checkpoints are gone for iOS, and they're not done just yet either. 2 members by the tower, another one up on the mast. Spinda able to find a pick on the 1, able to find a pick on the 2, and might be able to get this 3rd onto the Tri-Slosher. A little bit of team support there to stop their reign on the high ground, but a very strong push, to say the least, from Swim, taking it down to 24 already. And only a minute left in this match. A lot of map needs to be retaken if you are on the side of Aim for the News.
Yeah, absolutely. It's looking very, very green out there, and we need to, as we see a pick from the Inkjet, but iOS once again able to fend off and take down the Inkjet as soon as possible. As Angel's trying to lay down some cover paint, trying to make sure Aim for the Knees isn't able to make this push, but we do see a little bit of move. 2 down on the side of Aim for the Knees. Angel's doing very, very well to fend off that, whatever it's called, I forget. A bunker. Yeah, bunker, thank you. But, yeah, that's just solid Tri-Slosher play. As we head to the final 10 seconds, Spinda wants to make sure they can make this move, grab tower, but missiles are going on them. Tower is taken by Aim for the Knees. Spinda's Inkjet takes down 1 shot, does not take down the other. There's going to be a fight on the tower, and that does end it there. Ink or Swim is able to take game 2.
Yes, they do, and I can tell that Swim or Sink was in the back of your mind there as well. Again, tune in on Wednesdays. But a very strong matchup from iOS, to say the least. 13 armors, 9 missiles, just barely... What was it, 12? I can't tell. 13 or 12 armors, just barely edging out Aim for the Knees. But both teams, again, so much similarities in their comps. And yet it's the coordination, the team play that we saw able to produce a game-winning push for iOS, which, if I'm not mistaken, puts them up 2-0 in this play all 3. So they have certainly taken the set, but it's important for them to continue on here with a good map 3 performance for tiebreaker possibilities if they want to have a better placing moving into day 2.
Absolutely. As we head into our 3rd and final match for this set, it is Clam Blitz on the Reef, which I find interesting for the pick, as there are many ways that you could score in clams for this map, whether taking the orthodox route or going from behind or taking that shortcut near bridge. It's going to be an interesting match, to say the least.
Yeah, and I think the team comps that we've been seeing, obviously, again, very, very comparable to one another, but they're still going to be completely different. Completely different from what we've seen so far. Perhaps I know you were going to. Yeah, you know what I was going to say.
You were going to say they were going to say the same.
Perhaps now, with the set being decided, we see a little bit more freedom from both of these teams. The Kenza Rapid and the K Pro will be making their way onto the field for iOS. And on the other side of things, we finally see a K shot. I think that was something that would have been good to see earlier. But the Squeezer is certainly the biggest change as well. Going to be offering some bubbles moving into a pushing opportunity or defending opportunity. And ideally, if you are Aim for the Knees, there's still a lot to play for. Even just getting this one match could help them moving forward, trying to make it to higher seeding for day 2 as well.
I honestly like the choice of Kenza Rabbit with the torpedoes to fend off everybody, get them distracted, hopefully have you or a teammate get a pick on them. It's solid for especially clams, as we see 13-12 clam difference on these favoring the side of iOS, but they are going to start to make a push. Bubbles do go out from the foil squeezer, and they take out the clam holder. That was a solid choice on Bubbles by Spinda there.
Yeah, Spinda certainly had a lot to show so far in the set for Aim for the Knees. Kind of been their dynamic player, the X factor for them. With the rest of the team doing a very good job of helping support this bridge control. Despite Spinders going down, it still leaves Aim for the Knees in a strong position to try and score here. Scotch will put that football into the basket. Won't be able to make it out of there alive, but Squiddy has a nice little flank going on with a lot of clams too. Might be able to put some good points on the board here. Trying to live though, and does get taken out, but Spindit instantly getting that trade back. Almost could have thought they were the same player if you weren't looking carefully, but will retreat and try to hold on to some of that map control as well as the clam control.
Yeah, we get the points down to 65, which is a pretty solid push, as iOS wants to gain map control, make their own push. Spinda is taken down. They're trying to pop bubbles and defending, as Angel gets taken down by the bomb. 2 down on the side of iOS. Great defense so far here from AFK, or Aim for the Knees, if you will.
You never see the bomb underneath the baller coming. You never see it.
Never see it coming. They're too focused on the baller in that situation to even know that the bomb is there.
But Spinda clearly aware of this one player here on right elbow. Will force them back a little bit, trying to put some more pressure. Jet just barely making away, and they will get some assistance from the K-Pro to try to avoid Spinda's squeezer, but now it's kind of turned into a brawl for beneath bridge coverage. And I'm not exactly sure who's going to come out in the better position. It does look like iOS has walked away with the numbers advantage, but it's a very brief one as they go down 2 players as well. That Booyah Bomb not going to be able to get any picks, but it does prevent Aim for the Knees from picking up their football. That unfortunately was left to die at tree. But that said, they don't need the football, they need to defend here. They need to make sure that they stop iOS from taking too much control of the map, or finding a flank in there. I think if you're iOS, this might be a great time for it, and it looks like it might have just happened. Nope. No. There was an attempt.
There was an attempt. And the football gets pushed back by Squiddy, all the way back to the court. That is a solid scare tactic there. Squiddy is able to get their own football for the ready, as we are under a minute left to play in this final match. Squiddy getting cornered by missiles, able to fend off and get a pick on Simmerpuss, and cannot get the pick on that Jet. They get 2 down on the side of AFK, but they get ballered to death. Spinda popping bubbles to defend, gets picked by Simmerpuss, and they're going to make a push. If they can, miss.
Just shorting it. Dell with a couple of brilliant sloshes there to get the pick and stop any sort of momentum they had to try and score that football. Angel is still contesting this here a little bit, trying to convince their team to move forward here. They do score the football. They do open the basket. They have only 3 clams here in Jet, so they'll be able to keep the basket open for a little bit, but they need to find more clams in order to take the lead. And it doesn't look like they're going to look for it. Simmerpuss trying to find picks, but again, the clams is what you need to be focused on. Meg not going to be able to make it to the basket in time with their clams. So, while this set was decided in the first 2 games, Aim for the Knees able to take 1 map off of iOS, leaving us at a pretty back and forth 2-1 set.
I think I saw Simmerpuss miss clams out in middle bridge. That could have helped out with scoring, and they just missed that opportunity there to even make sure. But I gotta say, there were some great defensive stops on the side of Aim for the Knees in that last set. They were able to fend off iOS and get solid picks before they can even score, and even messing up their throws at the basket.
And certainly the bubbles that we saw coming out from Spinda's squeezer as well put a lot of pressure anytime iOS wanted to move forward there with a push. But overall, iOS still does take the set 2-1. Both teams looking pretty good, though, I will say.
Yeah, they definitely look good. They got a lot of potential for themselves, and even in later tournament attempts.
Yes, but still plenty of time left to play for this one. We've got 3 more sets of Swiss Play All 3 coming to you folks later on. But I believe that will do it here for us. I have been the Baron, and it's been an absolute pleasure. Lancer, any final words? Want to shout yourself out or anything like that?
Yeah, it was an absolute pleasure to commentate with you as well. But you can find me on Twitter at LancerSplats. I also have an Instagram if you want to check that out. I believe that's also LancerSplats. But that's pretty much it for me. It's been a pleasure commentating again for IPL with the Barry once again.
The pleasure has been all mine, and certainly we're both very grateful to be joining all of you here on this Saturday afternoon, watching some fantastic Splatoon, and we hope you'll stick around. Coming on up, we got some new commentators, Hoenn and Kraken. They'll be joining you in just a moment. Sit tight, and see you soon.
Able to find people, scout it out, using this Rainmaker shot as cover, and brings in the rest of AD behind him. They're going for it. They're trying to take their own cover pick. But the hammer gets 3. The sploosh stays alive. Hayden's still up.
Oh, you can't. No, you can't. I'm about to say you can't.
They're just, the Nautilus is installed, and since they took the lead, that is what they wanted the entire
It's a
time.
wipe.
It is a wipe. They're going on the home stretch here. It's just the Squiff left alive. The Ray's coming out. They have the tower secured. It's just the.
He needs to get down. He needs to get down. Oh, where's Adam? Adam's going to be jumping out.
This is the part of Rainmaker where it really gets silly. We pop, we try to get points. Some of the most skillful maneuvering of the Rainmaker I've seen, surviving 3 specials, rotating back down, and you know, oftentimes we say diving after the Rainmaker, not really a good spot as they take the lead again. We said it would get silly. Look at this, moving all the way through. Is this a dunk? Unreal!
3, hello? But however, they do have the tower pushing. They got the Booyah Bomb to come out, missiles coming out. Now they're pushing together. It was a sacrifice worth being made as the lead could be contested here.
That's the right tower is so close to getting this. Look at the nice triple. Look at the nice triple from the Squeezer.
Denied in the Nightmare right here and come back in overtime. Lois desperately trying to hold on. Saucy Boy has the missiles to work with, but they're running out of time. Overtime started with the basket open. Hayden going in, landing a splash down, not getting any splash. Access denied, running right through. Time runs out. Time runs out. They had it, but just didn't have enough time.
And the Squeezer with the first pick of the game after like a minute
into the game. That's crazy. Again, just shows how both of these teams are now figuring out each other's play style. They want to be really careful with this.
Hold on. How do people get away with these?
It's denied. Hayden's there, trying to stop this before they end up getting the lead. And what? Hayden ready. And now there's the last player alive.
And they reset it! This is amazing! Wow! 20 seconds left to go now! be thrilled that it's only 59 remaining. They got all 4 of their specials ready to go, and trying to get control of the enemy bunker is Plasma yet again, being just a nuisance with this Blue 7. Takes a bad turn, somehow corrects though, is able to get 2 players down. Should have been splatted along the right side. The Monkey's going to get lead.
Here come the missiles, able to find people scouted out, using this Rainmaker shot as cover. And brings in the rest of AD behind him. They're going for it. They're trying to take their own cover pick. But the hammer gets 3. The Sploosh stays alive. Kate is still up.
Oh, you can't. No, you can't. I'm about to say you can't. Like they're losing the entire time anyway, so it's not like they got to change anything. And now they're taking the Rainmaker. They're trying to get lead. Toxic Mist coming out at the perfect time.
Jumps come in, and this hammer tries to stay alive for as long as possible. The Sploosh is trying to keep this Rainmaker from popping. They end up getting 3 down. They take the Rainmaker.
To the timer delay Eufish's potential push and make it even more difficult.
Yeah, and I mean, that's really all that Marine Melody needs to do at this point is, you know, slowly take time off the clock. They don't need to make a hero play at this point. They are 2 down, so they do need to play some defense. Oh, the Nautilus decides to take a little...
Under fire, that's 3 down on the side of Shiver, so even though this one zone is taken, it's going to get neutralized again. And those penalty points are almost gone.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, they are hanging on.
This is tight.
They are painting the zone like their life depends on it. 2 seconds.
It's 3 down. They got
there
this.
We go.
They got that lead.
Board, but the rest of the players for Lois are 13 remaining. They don't have any clamps just yet, but Link is just destroying everybody, and that's going to cause enough time for the rest of the players to give those clamps. Can they keep this basket open? They do, but then they don't. Nintendo, excuse me.
No, that's
denied in the nightmare right here, and come back in overtime. Lois desperately trying to hold on. Saucy Boy has the missiles to work with, but they're running out of time. Overtime started with the basket open. Hayden going in, ready to splash down, not getting any splats. Access denied, running right through. Time runs out. Time runs out. They had it. But just
Hello everyone! Welcome back to Low Ink Day 1! We are at our Swiss Round 4, and I am Kraken Mare, joined by Hoenn Hero for the first time in a long time! How you doing, Hoenn?
It certainly has been a long time since I've commentated, but it's good to be back. I'm doing pretty well.
I mean, I think it's been at least, I think, what, 2 years since we've been on the mic together?
Probably.
IPL announcement was probably the last time we were on the mic.
Yeah, I think the last time we were both on the mic was that, and prior to that was when we were running Low Ink and doing literally everything at once. Never again.
Alright, yeah. I think to highlight our first match that me and you are going to be commentating, we're going to have Glitter Gel Pens versus Leistungskurs, I think is how you pronounce that. Thanks to the staff over there for this trying to pull up.
They tried to help us pronounce things. But it looks like it'll be an interesting match on Rainmaker Anchovy Games here first. What are you thinking we're going to see here in this first game, Kraken?
I will say, though, it's always glad to see a lot of it. I want to add this. It's good to see some different international people. I believe this is a mostly German team, and that's the names. The name's at least German. But their names are Japanese on the Switch, I believe. But looking at the rosters, but yeah, it's always good to have international. That's one of the things I like about this. But back to Ancho, which is a question. This is a different kind of Rainmaker. At least it's not a quick KO one, like we can see something like Black Belly or whatnot. You know, we've seen a couple nice Rainmaker games already here through the first 3 sets. So I'm excited for this one. You know, it's a little bit longer, so I don't think we'll have that quick KO. But if you can KO on this one, whatever team that is, it might be able to get that 3-0 on this one, Hoenn.
I do think so, but we'll see. Here we go. Looks like we've got for Glitter Gel Pens the K-Pro, Octobrush, K-Shot, and N-Zap up against the K-Shot Custom Jet, Spire Shot, and T-Tap.
Not too crazy to see a custom jet on Rainmaker, though, Hoenn, honestly, though. In this day and age, you know, either jet are both super viable. The amount of pain it can put down, super useful. And we already see one trying to flank, getting punished for it, but I think they took one down with them. I think specifically the T-Tech on the side of Leistungskurs. Hopefully I said that right again, probably not. But getting down to 50 points, not a bad start, starting to, you know, show, hey, we are here to play, we're going to do our best, but getting wiped leaves a big window of opportunity for Glitter Gel Pens to swing the sea their way.
Okay, it looks like we're going to try to take advantage of that here and slowly start to move forward, trying to get up on that plat here. As much pressure on the Inkjet is coming out to try to... Oh, we got an Inkjet battle, actually. And the Inkjet does pay off, taking down that Rainmaker, allowing Leistungskurs to stop this push and make their own. Oh, they're going side path, too.
Yeah, side path, not something you see very often. It's good little way to change things up. You know, you can see that brush is kind of out of position. Gonna try to come from behind, but if they can't hit that fan before the Rainmaker drops there, yep, you can't really do too much for a delay. But when you get pincers from both sides, the brush and everybody else, doesn't matter their position. We have a Booyah Bomb there.
Booyah Bomb's just gonna say no, doesn't matter. But back to Glitter Gel Pens, they will push forward here while Leistungskurs does make a move to defend. This Inkjet could be pretty critical for clearing things off, but they only get one who had dropped before going down. Not that it mattered much in the end because Glitter Gel Pens does get wiped here, allowing for control to return to Leistungskurs as they prepare for their next push. It looks like getting paint down this time, preparing specials potentially.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be smart. You already see that they have themselves 3 specials, and I love the fact in spectator mode you can see how close in terms of percent they are. You know, already up to 3/4% there for missiles on the shot as well. So almost 4 specials already. Able to take one down with that Inkjet in combination with the rest of their team. Let's see if they can get a couple more down here. Maybe not the best. You know, they popped 2 specials, only got 1 kill out of it, and they really didn't gain much. So these specials kind of wasted, and it allowed 2 members on the other side here of Glitter Gel Pens to get 2 specials of their own. Able to take one down, I believe, and they show Booyah, but Booyah gets blocked by the sign. The best defender in the game. Well, in this map, sign.
Yeah, That's not good at all. Glitter Gel Pens had a big opportunity there with those wasted specials, or somewhat wasted. Ooh, and a nice double there, actually. As they're going to go ahead and push forward there. Or, well, rather defend, actually. Nice double.
I would like to see both these teams move faster after the wipes. Both sets of teams here have gotten themselves wiped on the other team and really just gain mid and nothing on their plat. We got to get that plat a little bit faster. If they can do that here, they can beat this push. I mean, both sides' pushes are not very large. You're basically to the edge of the plat, and as soon as you drop down, you get the lead here in this one. And just with the wipes, nobody's really taking anything even beyond their side of mid. You know, we just saw, you know, Glitter Gel Pens a little while ago, and now coming off another wipe.
There's two, though, for Leistungskurs. Hopefully they'll be able to take advantage of this and move forward. Are they going to get the Booyah? They do get the Booyah, but not quite fast enough. But even so, that's enough to get them lead. So, and a double there. That's a full wipe, actually. Leistungskurs has a big opportunity here, and they're going to take it as they try to get Rainmaker to goal. They will get blocked there and go down to 1. Still, overall, I'd say a very good push there.
Yeah, really solid push. Anything above 40 remaining, so about a 60 point. It's really a solid push on this map. That's really right about where the choke point starts in this one. So getting that 26 is a really solid push. A little bit less than 30 seconds remaining in this one. We see the Booyah Bombs coming out. Glitter Gel Pens knows they're running out of time, trying to just kind of be more aggressive. But they've kind of lost the good opportunities that they had earlier to do so. And now they go 3 down. It's going to be a tough opportunity for just one player there to really pop it and try to go anywhere. Yeah, now just one.
Yeah, it looks like Glitter Gel Pens, unfortunately, they put specials one after the other, and the Booyah, the Jet, and all their specials resulted in them getting shot down with special there at the end.
Nothing you can really do in that position. You just have to try something. It's better to try. I have seen teams not try in a situation where they're losing. So attempting anything is better than sitting back and just taking the L. So at least Glitter Gel Pens had a little bit of fight left in them in that really rough situation. And we are going to Zones Mako, I believe, Holland. One of the most popular maps in this entire game.
Can see why. It's a pretty good map overall, I feel. It gives lots of areas to move around, plenty of space to move. It's also got the ability to hide and shark where necessary. It's just a very good map in general. And that's why it's just beloved on every map and mode in general, especially Splat Zones, because it seems like people in general enjoy Splat Zones quite a bit.
Yeah, Zones is, I would say, probably the most popular mode. It's also the most basic of all of them, too. So it is one that it's a lot easier to just pick up, enjoy, and understand. You know, things like Clan Blitz, it's so much more complex. And especially if you want to actually try to coordinate a bunch of team movement and everything, there's so many moving parts. It is a lot more difficult.
The simple modes like Splat Zones are a lot more popular with the players, I feel, because of that, because it's easier for them to do. On the spectators end, though, Rainmaker matches are very exciting.
That's the best. That's the best spectator mode, and in that one, I will argue to the end. Whether or not it's the best mode, that can be definitely argued, and I think most people would disagree that it is the best mode.
That's why you gotta have a mix of everything to know.
Yeah, and I think Mako is not necessarily because it's simple like Zones is, but it's also it's one of those maps that about anything works on. And so even if it's not necessarily your favorite map, like something like, you know, say your favorite might be the Reef or whatever, you're not like, I hate Mako. It's just like, you know, it'd probably be a mediocre or still a top-end map for most people. Personally, I'm not a fan of it, so I understand those that aren't. But that is another reason why it's so popular, is just because everything works on it. You know, you don't have something like Camp Triggerfish where some things don't do very well on, as much as that's a map I'm a fan of. This is something everybody can at least enjoy.
Yeah. We've got the Flings and the Bloblobber coming out this time. Interesting to see how those will be used, but I think it's not too difficult to see if the Bloblobber at the very least is going to be used for massive paint coverage. With it's the custom actually. I don't remember if that's rain or not.
On the blob, you said?
Yeah.
The blob, that should be oh my god, I should know this.
That's what I'm telling myself.
It's Suction Rush. It's Suction Rush Sprinkler, I believe. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is. There it is. Yeah, that'll
the range, the other
that
one.
is the hammer miss. And the Booyah Bomb gets me. We need to play more.
We need to play Blob. We gotta play a Skep more. They're also the one that gave us this matchup, so I don't know. I'm just I did play with them yesterday, so Anywho, going back to the game here.
Glitter Gel Pen here hold the zone easily right now. Blob trying to get some paint down to make move. And here comes the Suction Rush and the Armor. The Special Rush is going straight in, and missiles. It results in a big push into there. But the Hammer goes and counters and gets, I think that was at least 2. Didn't quite see. I know it got at least 1. But quite a pushback there from Glitter Gel Pens to retake the zone, even with penalty. We'll see how Leistungskurs handles it.
Yeah, I mean, a hefty over 50-point penalty. If they could have held that zone even just through that and just as a neutral here, they would have already actually KO'd at this point. And we see an Inkjet coming out. No!
Just immediately taken down by the Octo Brush. And we've got Suction Rush ready once more as Leistungskurs gets picked by the Booyah Bomb. That is going to stop as well.
That's going to be game there, Hoenn, unless some magic happens here. They're in a bad position. They might get neutral.
Oh, they get the stop. They get the stop. They get a pick. They get 2 picks. And they take the zone. It's not over till it's over. You just commentator curse, Kraken. Come on, you should know this.
I am sorry, Glitter Gel Pens. I commentator cursed you on that one. It looked like you had it, but that junior made a fantastic play. Credit to that junior going ahead and getting a double in zone along with getting that neutral and just absolutely saving their team here. It could have been an L before the halfway mark in this game in terms of just timer. And now they are getting lots of points on the board, already getting 40 points there, Hoenn.
Yeah, I'll have to admit that play by Wash there to avoid bomb, I think was pretty good as well. Hammer really came out. Unfortunately, no picks for Glitter Gel Pens as Leistungskurs continues to hold this zone, pushing to 36 and moving. Leistungskurs might actually just completely reverse knockout this about the biggest way possible. Almost. But we've got Hammer coming in. Hammer gets a trade. We're at 12 as the Blob Lover attempts to hold but fails. That's okay though. There's penalties on both sides. So both sides have a bit of time to work as Glitter Gel Pens now moves in to take control of that zone as control returns to them.
The tough part, it's a hefty penalty, a 62-point penalty, and they right now do not have control. By the time they really get themselves into control, they are going to be going to right about overtime, even if they can get control right now and hold it. You know, it's going to be a little bit more overtime. Yeah, but that's not including any neutral time like this right now, even that starts to kind of keep your timer a little bit longer. So they're going to start pushing up towards that overtime, and so if you get that quick flip or something like that, it's going to be really tough here.
Like that, actually.
For long. Oh, the Stamp getting a double! Starting to push on that blob.
That's a big play, and Glitter Gel Pens are just going to move in and try to maintain dominance here. Well, maybe not, actually. Looks like they're going to hold back a little. Here in Sharp underneath.
Well, yeah, they can be safe. Look at the penalty, Hoenn. I mean, it's down to about 10 remaining on the penalty.
Yeah.
And they just have to stay alive. And, they go 2 down. There's a good situation here with the junior.
We got another stop, and then it just turns around again. This is turning into a great match. This is a great match at this point.
Skep out here looks like another solid set for stream. I think, the team over there picking some really good ones. I think the other ones were all 2-1 in the first 3. This one, potentially, if there can be a quick flip, will also be a 2-1 situation, and it will be!
They do stop it. Oh, man, this is just back and forth. This is good.
Oh, man, Hoenn, we have had a bunch of good sets on stream today. That first one looked a little bit one-sided. I think, Glitter Gel Pen just couldn't get forward compared to Leistungskurs. And this time, though, they managed to push up and hold a lot better. I think they kind of felt out their opposing team. They kind of maybe came up with a game plan to counter them, and it worked out really well in zones. And also their weaponry just kind of worked a little bit better in zones. So credit to Glitter Gel Pens if they made some adjustments. It definitely looked like it from my point of view.
Oh, I agree, yeah.
So
they held on
we're up for a good one.
At first. It would have been a knockout. Speaking of good ones, this is your favorite map, isn't it? Maybe not map mode, but we're here on Tower Control Piranha Pit next.
It's up there. I love Piranha. As a brush main, you gotta love the more open maps, though. It's up there, but I wouldn't say it's my top choice. Yeah, this one a really good one, and I think this might be more beneficial to Glitter Gel Pen's weaponry because they have a little bit more paint. I would say, I don't think we're gonna see that blob like we saw last time. I think if Glitter Gel Pens goes with the go here, I think this is going to be a more beneficial map for that, especially if you're going to have tower control as the mode. So,
yeah,
I think we could have definitely a situation where Glitter Gel Pens takes these effectively kind of a reverse sweep. Kinda, it's a little bit weird to say reverse sweep in a play.
I mean,
it is.
It's a best of 3. It's basically best of 3 at this point. It could be play all. It doesn't matter. But I kind of want to see a blaster with this tower control. I want to see if anyone runs blaster of some kind.
Luna, all right, Luna main. Bias towards the Luna or other blasters.
I know ProChar has my back. How's that?
We'll see here. You and Tara, by the way, in the creator clash there a while back. That was fun. We had a good time.
It was a lot of fun, yeah.
Anywho, here we go.
There's a blaster.
Wow.
It's not the Luna, but there is a blaster.
Not a lot of paint on this one compared to the last match. Of course, the zones, I think teams tend to feel like they need more paint, but this one, okay paint on both sides. Seems like the 96 Gal.
It has more paint this time.
Yeah, I would say both teams have lost paint on this one. Definitely.
Yeah, I think they both lost paint here. Leistungskurs is going to go ahead and move in here and challenge that rapid. Not much is going to happen there, though. Just lots of suction bombs. Nevertheless, comes the baller onto the tower. An interesting strategy, which, for me at least, it only seems to work sometimes.
There's times and place for that. And right then, I guess technically would be an acceptable position. They got it off and they got to stay on the tower there. Unable to get this first checkpoint, though. Glitter Gel Pens are going to retreat, which seems a little bit odd there. I think they had everybody up. I think the immense amount of pressure from the bombs and everything else coming up was enough to push them back, and they do go 2 down now, Hoenn. And we see a baller coming out and a booyah one from each team respectively. Or each one, yeah. And we see now the tower from the other way.
Gel Pens is getting ready to attack that tower, but it's going to have to fall back because of missiles and immense pressure. That's going to bode well for Leistungskurs as they attempt to move this tower around the bend. However, Glitter Gel Pens does eventually, thanks to a Booyah Bomb, make that stop, force them back. And with the intent of resetting this tower, beginning of the momentum.
Yeah, decent points to hold them at. Not necessarily bad at all. Not even getting to that second checkpoint. Once you kind of get past that second checkpoint, it's more or less GG's. It gets really tough for the team defending to even stop the tower. So,
ooh, nice pick there. 2 picks there against Glitter Gel Pens, and both of them had specials too. That was massive. I was looking at it. They got 3 specials, 3 up. They can really push here. But that just goes to naught in just a moment as Glitter Gel Pens gets moving here to get their own push going. But looks like they're going to have to do a little more work here for that, as Leistungskurs did have someone on tower and still does. It did for a moment.
We see this shot here, trying to aim up, maybe going for a flank, kind of assessing the situation where the enemies were. Unable to realize the flank maybe was open there, but they ended up going with the rest of their team, getting a trade out of it, which when you're up, you know, it can be acceptable. And, you know, obviously getting a trade is better than nothing. But, of course, you can get that clean there. I think the rest of their team didn't really push up quite as much as they thought they would. But nonetheless, they all kind of come back together, able to get
And
3 down as
almost
a team.
a wipe. The brush is just going to
came out of
wait
spawn.
back here.
It was an effective wipe. The brush just came out of spawn. So another great play here. Glitter Gel Pens unable to really kind of clean up mid as a whole and really give themselves the paint to move forward. I've noticed that, you know, by from their perspective, the north ramp, they haven't been able to kind of take full control of that. Really well done here by Leistungskurs for keeping as much paint control as they have. And you can see, I mean, look at this. They have control of the ramps. You can't push that tower there, or without basically dying like we've seen it many times. So if they can get up there, they might have an opportunity to, and that Booyah Bomb does actually them. Didn't necessarily get any kicks going. And so finally, though, after clearing out this area, you can see the points are now racking up quickly.
Yes, and it looks like Glitter Gel Pens is going to try to use that Inkjet, but gets sniped at the last minute. Specials not being super effective here, unfortunately, as Leistungskurs pushes Glitter Gel Pens back. 43 seconds left.
It's still not a bad position, and there's no checkpoints between the leads here, Ho, and that's something I really want to point out, is neither team has even reached this checkpoint. So as long as you can control the top, which is going to be difficult here for Glitter Gel Pens because of the weaponry they have. You look, they really don't have much range. It's going to have to be that Inkjet or the Booyah Bomb, which they have the Booyah Bomb ready. So that 96 and Pro can just sit up top unless they clear them out. And the Rapidu are the only one that really had the opportunity in terms of range, and it goes down. And the Booyah Bomb goes down, that I just pointed out, Helen. It is a 1v1.
It is a 1v1 for the moment, but 2 jump in for Glitter Gel Pens, giving them a much better numbers. But the suction bomb on the tower. It's always the suction bomb, isn't it? Just takes them out, and that is game.
They tried, Hoenn, but Glitter Gel Pens unable to take this one. A really close match. I believe it was it's
50-50.
6 points? 6 points? Yeah, a 6-point difference. 7 if you want to include the fact that you can't tie. So 7-point difference between the lead. And again, it was not that either push was super far. You know, both teams put up amazing defenses in that one. And that was a very fun one to watch. And a really good set one here. Again, credit to the staff. Y'all picking out some good matches today. Keep it up. Hold on, I think we're going to take a short break before we go into our solid round 5. Hopefully we can see another amazing match like this one.
I'm looking forward to more action when we come back for round 5.
many armors as you would get with a spammy weapon, but you can bet those armors will be used well. We've got the fizzies as well on that kit, so that's gonna be really, really nice for making paths and clearing the area. Already, though, we've got Clownfish here taking a pretty aggressive style. This try here, getting a nice double over these ledges, getting a triple. What a way to start off.
And the Squeezer with the first pick of the game after like a minute
into the game. That's crazy. Again, just shows how both of these teams are now figuring out each other's playstyle. They want to be really careful with this.
Hold on. How do people get away with these? They're trying so hard to stop this.
That's another one.
That's gonna be KO.
That's two wipes. That's 2 wipes in a row. That's KO. Yeah. That is a certified Rainmaker moment.
It really is.
Our set.
Let's just put a stamp on that and be like Rainmaker stamped, filed.
Here come the missiles, able to find people scouted out, using this Rainmaker shot as cover. And brings in the rest of AD behind him. They're going for it. They're trying to take some of their own cover pick. But the hammer gets 3. The Sploosh stays alive. Kate is still up.
Oh, you can't. No, you can't. I was about to say, you can't.
I was chatting with a very strong ballpoint Nouveau player who said, yeah, it doesn't have a special, it just has an ink refill. I just want to keep using its main weapon, and you can see why. And still pushing in here, Agent Octo's gonna get a chance for a flank, get 3, has about another 4, this might be game already. They're gonna have at least 1 special potential.
And, well, they sacrificed 1 armor to do it, so the monkey paw curls. But, okay, I like the remix. This is a remix playground, and I'm sure they're where there's a person just standing there, waiting patiently for the armor, still not going to hit. They have to know you're there. They're staring right at you. 7 at a high level. Those 2 weapons are about as far from each other as it could possibly get. But now you got 3 specials ready. You got a splashdown. You got a hammer ready to go by Corona, who's trying to get in a good spot here. It's a double! Smacks in the face, and that's going to be lead, although not a huge one. This hammer could shut down everything. That hammer saved rid of penalty points, and Crack United will force a game 3. The ballpoint goes down yet again. That ballpoint is going in. Now it's all-out rush for the left side of the zone, and now we're seeing bodies flying all over the place. 2 more players going down, make that 3 for the side of Crack United, and who's the last player standing?
Another missile kill ends up going down. Nether's not going to be able to fend off everyone, has to back up a little bit, and is going to leave another lowest player to die. That's 30 seconds left on the clock, and not a lot of special points, nor a lot of man advantage on the side of Lowest. But wait! Use some great plays, ends up going down to the propeller ink. It's only Gigas. 20 seconds left, and
board, but the rest of the players for Lowest are 13 remaining. They don't have any clams just yet, but Link is just destroying everybody, and that's going to cause enough time for the rest of the players to give those clams. Can they keep this basket open? They do, but then they don't. Nintendo, excuse me.
No, that's
denied in the nightmare right here, and come back in overtime. Lowest desperately trying to hold on. Saucy Boy has the missiles to work with, but they're running out of time. Overtime started with the basket open. Hayden going in, ready to splash down, not getting any splats. Access denied, running right through. Time runs out. Time runs out. They had it, but just didn't have enough time.
Here come the missiles, able to find people scouted out, using this Rainmaker shot as cover. Two, and brings in the rest of AD behind him. They're going for it. They're trying to take some their own counter pick. But the hammer gets 3. The sploosh stays alive. Kate is still up.
Oh, you can't. No, you can't. I was about to say, you can't.
Could be the end of this push.
Yeah, Myopsidus keeps the momentum going. They keep getting picks and surviving long enough. Dux is rolling in a circle. They're trying to get all the picks, and they get 2 picks with the Dynamo, and they take the tower into the goal.
We are.
This is exactly what we want to see. What a push indeed. We've got that double coming out, and now with that 3 down coming on to Lois, they put all of their energy into that, and now we're going to be seeing overkill. We are not going to be seeing overkill.
I was like,
Sees themselves staggering. Could this be Ireed's moment to try to just seal the deal? One more power clip plus 1 is gonna do it. That is a KO. A great comeback there from Ireed.
That was so good. That was great coordination. They got 2 down, and then after they went for the next 2 while the other 2 respawned.
I'm not painting this little speck of ink. Come on, just put something down. Look at your map. Look at your map.
Oh my god!
They all jumped in. Are you serious?
Welcome back, everyone, to Low Ink Day 1. We are still in our Swiss stage, which of course is the only thing we do on Day 1, but we are in round 5, so we have 2 more rounds of this, Hoenn. I am Crackman, as I just mentioned. We also have Hoenn Hero still on the mic. Us 2 crazies are still here.
You can't get rid of us, sorry. We created this thing and we're gonna be here until it's dead. You can get us off the mic, though, when the day ends. That's your only respite.
We'll be watching you in Help Desk, everybody. And elsewhere.
Always watching.
Anywho, Hoenn, with this round 5, we have GG Wasn't and Essence here for this first one. Do you know anything about either of these 2 teams?
No, but I do know that I think it's GG Watson instead, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, I can't.
Pronunciation is my weak point. I apologize to any team that I have to say their name on mic. I would probably get it wrong.
GG Watson. Yeah, I can't English either. This is why we put us two together on the microphone, so we mispronounce everything, and you all get to laugh at us.
Yes, that's the whole point, to make a mockery of the people in charge of IPL.
Anywho, first map mode we're going to have is going to be Clam Blitz Inkblot Art Academy. Harlan, what do you think of the key positions on this map?
Oh, the biggest key to getting those pushes through is being able to push through that staircase, usually, to get onto that plat. That's where a lot of pushes are attempted. So holding that's not the most difficult thing to hold, but I expect to see lots of specials used to force an opening there, if other opportunities are not made. But we'll take a look right here as we get started here. Coming out with a Squeezer, I see, as well as a Mini. Not uncommon choices, but ones I have not seen yet here today. Everything else, well, the try's new too, but most everything else we've seen previously.
Yeah, to highlight a player here that I know, Disobeyed, I believe they mostly are going to be playing Splatlings. You might see them on Nautilus. I believe I've seen them on Nautilus as well. So we might see that in a future game. I'm kind of surprised here they wouldn't go with it. Nautilus feels like it would be a really good choice here. But if you're kind of focused on getting a lot of paint down, Mini is definitely the better option than Naughty. So seeing that is understandable, and I think it's still a really solid choice. I think Mini is a very underrated weapon. Speaking of Disobeyed, they went ahead and got that end zap.
So, Kraken, you do remember that Nautilus is a splat, right?
It is a Splatling, yeah, but it doesn't put down quite as much paint as Mini by a mile and a half.
Yeah, you were saying Splatlings and Nautilus.
Oh. Fair enough. It's its own category. There's no other weapons other than the two variants of Nautilus in that category.
Yeah, but
officially
fair enough.
Anywho, we do. By the way, you.
We got a good push here. Starting off. Looks like they're going to go ahead and try to push through that staircase, but not quite ready yet. So fall back a little bit. Both teams trying to gather clams.
We have one pick though. That's a big point I want to put out on GG. They already have one down. This is going to be a big push opportunity for Essence. They're going to try to push that staircase. That Jet Squelcher in a really good position. Putting that miss down. This is why I personally like the vanilla version of Jet on this one, along with the missiles. Really good for trying to clear people out on the offensive, but the miss really good on the defensive. We see the missiles basically ready for both Jet Squelchers, so they're going to get popped out here soon. One member going down again on GG, but the Tri-Slosher went down on Essence, so it's going to be kind of a stalemate situation where both teams just kind of fall back, or at least just kind of hold their section of mid and try to come forward again once they can get another pick.
Yeah, it looks like that Jet Squelcher is going to grab that power plant and dump their claims back at base as they wait for a jump potentially, or wait for an opportunity. We'll see. Nevertheless, still, it looks like Essence does not quite have control of mid yet, so they're going to have some work to do here before they can push forward, even though they have the clams ready.
Disobeyed here, trying to work with their teammates to keep control of that right side. Both teams having over 20 clams, near that 25, 26 number here, and that's huge. Either of them can score. That is potential for huge numbers. The big advantage, though, if I have to say it, does go to GG because they have the smaller clams. Well, never mind that if they're all dead. Smart play by that Jet Squelcher trying to save that one ball, though, because if they can save that ball and get a pity, that will be a solid 40-point push. But they also got to stop this first. 79 points put on the board by Essence. That is going to be hard to beat. Never mind. It definitely is hard to beat. It's impossible to beat now, Owen.
Yeah, I was about to say, Kraken, I don't think they could beat it if it's going to be 0 here at the moment.
If the fat cat sings, it is over, and the fat cat sang.
There's two cats now. One of them's not so fat.
The other one's cute and adorable. We love him. We love them both. But Really good job there by Essence. Once they finally broke through, put down a ton of paint on the opponent's plat, they just got all of those clams that we were just starting to highlight when that happened. You know, they had a 25 or something like that when they started the push. Tons of little clams to go in along with the pity, which the little clams are worth more. If you can get in 7 little clams, they are worth more than a power clam. I always like to remind teams about that. If you're in a situation where you just gotta go fast, make the bigger ball. It's worth it if you gotta get in and out. But if you can,
because it's only one throw for 20 points in that case. But if you have the time, throw as many littles in, because 7's 21. If you can get 8 or 9, that's even better. So,
or if you get all 10, the equivalent of a power clam, that's 30 points. That's 10 additional points. And
you just usually have to take 2 trips for that at least. But yeah.
Just trying to be comparative here on how many go into each one. Still, really good job there by Essence. Once they got together, they had a couple people stay forward, push back, but highlight in the last game, and we're gonna be running out of time before the start of the next one, Hoenn.
Yeah, we're almost done. It's time for Rainmaker Scrapper. This is a fun map mode, in my opinion. I do like this quite a bit. It looks like we're about to start on it too. So not much time to talk about it, but I do like how there's multiple sides to this, and both are quite heavily used at all times. So we'll take a look and see what happens here, I suppose.
I'm curious if anybody's
got a K-shot. I see double K-shot.
This is the one map where Pop is basically useless. It's one of the... Well, that and Piranha Pit less so than this one. This one, the Pop is literally useless. So it's kind of surprising. It looks like we have one person out of all 8 that even went for the Pop for the most part, which is pretty reasonable, because if you get the Pop, you can technically get a kill off of it if someone's in the right position, but it's still a position you're usually not going to take that mid position right away. You're usually going to go for those 2 sides, which are the more important part of this one. We see both teams really doing that, and but it looks like, though, that GG got the better of the initial fight and pushed back Essence all the way back to their spawn, and taking this left side push on.
Yeah, GG's going to go ahead and move up here as Sune the sniper tries to fight at goal, but pulling out that Stingray to try to stop the Rainmaker. They successfully do. The counter ray coming out though now, and Bubbles up, and that's going to be big here as they try to stop this push. And they do successfully stop that push, thankfully, for them at least, as Sune cleans up in the back, and they secure the Rainmaker here.
Yeah, it was a good defense there by Essence. GG, though, had a good attempt. If you had looked, it was a little bit hard to see from our angle, but when we're that overtop view, we can see that squeezer, and I believe it was one of the one of the shots pushed up in their spawn and attempted to get those, like, Ray and such, and maybe a full fix, but unfortunately, a couple of Essence members got up and forward, and, along with their bombs, got the rest of the team, and this slowly got picked off there in the opponent's goal. But Disobeyed here going to be attempting a push of their own with their team on this left side, but a Stingray comes out immediately, Hoenn.
Always the Stingray when it comes to the Rainmaker, isn't it? But it looks like Essence going to hold on to this Rainmaker, though, as they try to move forward, but they're stuck in a bit of a bad position when you have 3 specials bearing down on you in the corner, so that didn't go very far. GG's going to go ahead and paint up here in preparation for the next push, get those specials ready, get some ground coverage, and actually get a pick there, and a pick on that sniper. That's pretty good. That's 3 down for GG, but the Rainmaker's been reset, so they're going to have to waste time on that, unfortunately.
Both sets of missiles were used, I want to point that out, and they're just now getting forward, so those missiles landed and already did their damage before the opponents really got to push up, which they still used the bubbles and got fantastic points out of that, Hoenn.
That was a big push there. That was a nice snipe, too, on the side of Essence. So Essence is going to go ahead and try to build off of that and push back in here in the next 2 minutes. Pulling out the armor as they start to move in.
We've seen Essence potential to push. We saw it especially in the last game. When they get it going, they can go, and even with that one push, they had the chance to get really far forward and just could not get it together fully. But 2 members going down, no chance here to really push again unless they can make an amazing play. Something like this sniper using its range to make an amazing play. right now not looking to do so, but they do manage to separate one player from the rest. Could potentially get punched there in the street.
We will have to take a look there, but it does look like one of Essence does go down to that Rainmaker pop like you mentioned at the beginning. Sometimes that can happen. And GG's going to go ahead and go for the flank here, but get caught immediately by Essence. Good eye on that. As Essence pulls out the Stingray, and again the counter ray immediately just shuts that down and gets the pick here. As Essence prepares to push this Rainmaker forward to make up lost ground with a minute left.
10 missiles on that Rainmaker. That's going to be a little bit of chip damage, and then a combination with the Suction Bomb and Tentamissiles. That will be enough to kill that Rainmaker. Rainmaker back at that respawn panel. Rainmaker, though, is at least on the ground as a team that's down. It's better than being up on the slick, so if you need to try to push a little bit faster, not necessarily the worst thing. But an early Ray coming out here from GG.
Interesting choice with only 25 seconds left. I think they've hold it.
Yeah, and the missiles. You think that would have been especially good to hold for this Ray that is now ready by their opponent. So, you could have missiled the Ray. That's the best way to stop a Ray, and especially if you had your counter Ray, you could really follow that up in combination.
Here comes that Ray now. Now they can't counter it. Not unless they've charged one up, which I don't see.
Nothing ready, and they aren't even close to ready at this time. The missiles are just getting ready now. But the Ray did nothing other than pressure. I would like to point that out. They ended up dodging the bullet here, not getting wiped by it.
Oh, this is bad for Essence. Yeah, no, Essence is done here. And all the specials just come out while they're 2 down and in overtime. Yeah, unfortunately, no chance for Essence there.
Hey, hold on, guess what? Hey, hold on, guess what?
What?
We're having a 2-1 set again! Woo! We're having another 2-1 set on stream. This is now at a 1-1 after GG able to secure that one, getting themselves a solid push to 83. So that's enough to get the victory. And whoo, we have another fantastic set out there. Good job, staff. Good job. I think retiring from Low Ink, you guys have really... I see why I trusted
Sep's doing a good job picking maps. I'm glad I trained with this morning. I'm not even kidding. I didn't train him to pick maps, though. I don't know where that came from.
Popgun's about to walk out on you for that one.
Oh, God.
Anywho, again, all jokes aside, I'm glad we have some really good ones on stream today through all the blocks. Occasionally, especially early on, you're kind of just picking and hoping, or what little knowledge you may have of different teams. You just kind of got to go on it. As somebody that has picked the matches and has hit and missed in the past, I know how difficult it is. You're just kind of occasionally just guessing, and I know a couple of them, even Popgun admitted that they were just guessing on it, and it worked thus far today. So, we have another good one here going to Zones as the Game 3 Zones Wahoo World is what we're going to see. Anything in particular you want to say or expect out of this one, Owen?
I'd like to see a Blob Lover, honestly. I feel like Blob Lover would have a lot of power here with the open plats at the top that people generally push on. Do we get one? No, we don't. That's fine.
You were saying that for Skep. Make up for earlier.
No, come on. I didn't even think of that. Oh my gosh. Anyways, it looks like Essence is just going to move straight into the zone while GG is going to hold back. But that's actually going to pay off for GG quite a bit because it's going to force Essence out. They're just all the way back now while GG gets solid control here. The specials coming in handy for that. Sniper up alone on plat, probably going to get bombed fairly heavily here as they try to make headway in the zone with this suction rush being used to neutralize the bubbles. And Stingray is going to take that sniper down, I believe. No, not actually.
Didn't take the sniper down, stop him from doing any more bombs, especially in combination with that Booyah Bomb. He had to focus his life instead of the special that he had. I mean, they popped 3 specials there, I believe it was. I believe it was Armor Missiles and Bomb Rush. and they didn't even get the zone out of it. It's gonna be a really tough situation here for Disobey. They're gonna try. They just gotta try to make a play at this point. Put some pressure, something now. If they can get a neutral of any sorts, they'll give their team a chance to come back. Another Stingray.
Not over yet, Kraken. The fat cat hasn't sung yet, so it's not quite over yet.
I didn't call it over yet. I learned my lesson at the last one. It looks like a bomb rush might be able to neutralize it. No, they did not.
Just barely. This time it was over. You should have said something, Kraken. We'd have more to watch.
Yeah, I know, right? I should have jinxed it. If you actually watch that, because it still tracks who would be controlling the zone. If the zone,
yeah, I see it. It's purple around the edge. They would have control.
If you watched it, you could have watched it actually cycle as those bombs exploded at the end from the one team to the other one. But, man, it's just a little bit too late.
Very slightly late. It's just barely too late for them. So that is going to go ahead and end round 5 here for today.
Holland, we had another reverse sweep. I want to point that out. We've had 2 reverse sweeps. It's a little weird to say again on a short, just a best of 3 because it's not very many games.
It's not even best of technically, but yeah.
Yeah, it's play all. But effectively, when you're going to game 3, it ends up being a best of. Their equivalent in that case. But if you look at it, both of those sets, the team that lost won the first game. I don't know. On the next set on stream, they might throw the first game on purpose here, Holland. There's a little bit of a curse going on.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'd watch both teams next set. Start squid partying on stream, and I have to get Popgun in here to tell them off because I'm not on duty right now.
In all seriousness, don't ever throw any games, even those games. Let's say you seriously. Are 2-0 at the start of a set, in a play all 3. Win that third game, that might make or break what bracket you're going to be in at the end of the day. So always play every game as hard as you can to get that victory.
Absolutely. And even going that route, if you do, throw games, that's not going to be looked upon kindly by the staff team. I'll tell you that much. So don't throw games for any reason.
All right, I think we are going to take a break, everybody. We have one more round today, our Swiss round 6, and it'll be a spicy one. We'll see you right back.
Timer delay Fish's potential push and make it even more difficult.
Yeah, and I mean, that's really all that Marine Melody needs to do at this point is, slowly take time off the clock. They don't need to make a hero play at this point. They are 2 down, so they do need to play some defense. Oh, the Nautilus! Nautilus decides to take a little...
And, well, they sacrificed one armor to do it, so the monkey paw curls. But, okay, I like the remix. This is a remix playground, and I'm sure they're where there's a person just standing there waiting patiently for the armor, still not going with it. They have to know you're there. They're staring right at you.
They're just, the Nautilus is installed, and since they took the lead, that is what they wanted the entire
It's a
time.
wipe.
It is a wipe. They're going on the home stretch here. It's just the Squiffer left alive. The Ray's coming out. They have the tower secured. It's just these.
He needs to get down. He needs to get down. Oh, you guys. Where's Adam? Adam's going to be jumping out.
Not as many armors as you would get with a spammy weapon, but you can bet those armors will be used well. We've got the fizzies as well on that kit, so that's going to be really, really nice for making paths and clearing the area. Already, though, we've got Clownfish here taking a pretty aggressive style. This try here, getting a nice double over these ledges, getting a triple. What a way to start off that.
My goodness, but look at little Iron Blade from behind the Rainmaker! They have all missiles on them though, so they're gonna have to back up. They can't pick up this Rainmaker, unfortunately, but here it is! They're gonna be trying to get a lot of ink on the ground, but no! It's gonna be Van Nolse that manages to pick up the Rainmaker and drop it into mid, and they're running away, and this game is over! It's Squid.
Opponent capitalized. You cannot let them cap. And Gaiga struggling here on the side here with the sponge really low here. A 4v4 situation. But oh, a nice flank there. And Gaiga's going to find the pick, leaving a 4v3 situation in their favor. 10 picks left for lead. And Gaiga's finding another pick. Missiles coming online. This zone, another pick is finally going to go back to Inkling. Now a 4v1.
A tight spot for Shiver Me, and 2 go down. They can pop this. They've got the missiles. And there's 3 down on the side of Shiver Me. They just need to pop the Rainmaker. This could be it for Access Denied. They need to just get past that bomb. They need to get past that little bit of ink.
They still got a long way to go, though. But can they slip around? They do! They get lead! 1 point remaining! Oh, they're losing the entire time anyway, so it's not like they got to change anything. And now they're taking the Rainmaker. They're trying to get lead. Toxic Mist coming out at the perfect time.
Jumps come in, and this Hammer tries to stay alive for as long as possible. The Sploosh is trying to keep this Rainmaker from popping. They end up getting 3 down. They take the Rainmaker!
Staggering. Could this be Irene's moment to try to just seal the deal? One more power clip plus 1 is gonna do it. That is a KO. A great comeback there from Irene.
That was so good. That was great coordination. They got 2 down, and then after they went for the next 2 while the other 2 respawned.
Right now, though, Access Denied is under very heavy pressure.
I think the pressure is definitely getting to them, as they always have 1 behind them and like 2 in front. They're having a hard time.
Ruma's not having very good luck engaging Saucy Boy.
Very nice.
Up at the top of the stream there was Sharky, and instead we just had a tri-slosher trade. I think when they found each other there. What if the two tri-sloshers kiss at the court area? Well, they both explode. But now, the team that is losing right now, Snowfall, they do get a splat on the splat.
Fall down and go down to Kizhaz as a 4v1 situation, and aggression comes out from Lois. You know, a game can end in this one push.
It can, and as soon as they round that corner, that's where damage is going to be done with a hammer escort as well. And they're not done. Gobble, gobble, gobble. It's like Pac-Man up there. That is your wipe. Goodbye.
Wow.
Game 3. Did you blink?
Opponent capitalize. You cannot let them cap. And Gaiga struggling here on the side here with the sponge. Really low here. A 4v4 situation. But oh, a nice flake there. And Gaiga's going to find the pick, leaving a 4v3 situation in their favor. 10 picks left for lead. And Gaiga's finding another pick. Missiles coming online. This zone, another pick is finally going to go back to Inkling. Now a 4v1 situation.
My goodness, but look at Low Iron Blade from behind the Rainmaker! They have all missiles on them though, so they're gonna have to back up. They can't pick up this Rainmaker, unfortunately, but here it is! They're gonna be trying to get a lot of ink on the ground, but no! It's gonna be Van Dulce that manages to pick up the Rainmaker and drop it into mid, and they're running away, and this game is over. It's Squid.
There's a lot of paint! Two go down inside of the corner.
You need to keep the zone. Twig got a pick. Twig got 2 picks. They neutralize the zone again. They just need to hold this area a little bit through the last hope for Aquatic Vanguard. As they get 2 more picks, and what looked like a near comeback for Myopsidus gets turned around again.
They're trying so hard to stop this.
That's another one.
That's gonna be KO.
That's 2 wipes. That's 2 wipes in a row. That's KO. That is a certified Rainmaker moment.
It really is.
Our set.
Let's just put a stamp on that and be like Rainmaker stamped, filed.
Let's do a missile, and another missile kill ends up going down. Nether's not going to be able to fend off everyone, has to back up a little bit, and it's going to leave another lowest player to die. That's 30 seconds left on the clock, and not a lot of special points, nor a lot of man advantage on the side of Lowest. But wait! Use some great plays! Ends up going down to the propeller ink. It's only Gigas. 20 seconds left, and Lois has a...
And welcome back to Low Ink for our final round of Swiss here on day one. I'm Hoenn Hero, and unfortunately Kraken Mare had to be taken to the old person's home because he forgot which tournament we are talking about. But that's okay.
Tournaments!
Oh wait, he's back. Never mind.
They couldn't keep a hold of me.
Get rid of you.
They couldn't keep me going.
But we here today are back for our final round, and we're going to be having Myopsidus up against Infinity here. And considering this is the final round, both of these teams actually could qualify for Alpha Bracket depending on how things go, both here and just in general in the event, with Myopsidus being in 9th place as of the end of round 5 and Infinity being in 11th, both of which would qualify them for Beta Bracket if that was the end of the tournament. However, a little more to go here, so we'll see where everything lands. What do you think, Kraken?
Are you sure it's not the Great Whale Bracket?
No, they're not playing for Great Whale. It's not only the wrong tournament, but in the wrong bracket name. It's Great White Kraken.
Speaking of which, everyone can go play SOS on Wednesday. Anywho,
this is why we tried to send you to the old person's home.
We are going to Tower Control Macomart. We're back to Macomart, Owen Hero.
Why are we? Wait, no, that's a good thing.
Not a fan of the mode. Back to Macomart. A little bit of probably the. Other than rain, I would say that clams and zones are better on this map, but still an overall pretty alright map mode. Tough once you get past that second checkpoint to defend, though.
Absolutely, that is the case here. Let's see what we got here. We got Nautilus coming out, as well as a couple snipers on both sides, both of which are scoped. So let's see if we get any sniper duels here. Potentially some Stingrays duels. We'll see here. Both sides trying to push mid and control that tower here at first, but not much going on tower movement quite yet.
Yeah, nothing moving on the tower just yet, but they're fighting for the stacks, which are the key position on this map. If you can control both stacks, you can get a ton of points on this one, at minimum through the first checkpoint, but in at least to that second checkpoint. You kind of control the stacks there. You're going to get fire on where any opponent are going to be at least sitting, if you can't get up there on those different ledges. So, controlling the stacks super key on this one, and both teams are recognizing this early. Though we do see some pushing finally coming out from the side of Infinity here when they get that multiple down situation.
Yeah, Infinity's going to go ahead and move in with the Stingray and the Inkjet, but the Inkjet is going to go down from a well-placed shot by the Nautilus. As Nautilus holds back and waits for all this paint flying up at them to pass. Approaching the second checkpoint, but they're going to go ahead and get that stop here as Infinities is forced back to mid and off tower.
We see the NZAP here trying to push up on that right side. You see, what, 3 members, I believe, of Infinity on that right side, Owen? If I know how to count. Maybe I don't. Who knows?
I don't know.
But it looked like there was 3, at least 2 over there on that right side. So they're trying to rush it, trying to get around that, and they just could not get up there and get any picks. They kept them pushed back here. It looks like they got 1 pick off of it, 2 picks off of it. Finally clear up that right side.
And then they got the trade there. That was excellent. So we can do basic math and count, Kraken. But it looks like it looks like Myopsidus is going to go ahead and pull out the Stingray and go for the 2 there on the left-hand side. And they do get the... I don't know what weapon that was, but the Nautilus did get that pick there, as they do move this tower to the second checkpoint and take the lead here. Only being forced back a little by missiles.
3 down situation. That's a white situation, Owen. They have an Inkjet.
That is a white.
They have an Inkjet 2 on that
is in an excellent position. They're going to try to knock out here. Inkjet going right up to their spawn. Stingray back, missiles out. It looks like it's going to be a knockout unless Commentators' first hit kicks in here, which it won't.
I think that showed perfectly how tower control can be so snowbally, right?
Absolutely.
Myopsidus had a fantastic few kills there to really kind of get themselves in position to push, and then they kind of just got themselves, just kept getting that pick one after another, until they snowballed it all the way to the victory. Inkjet in their spawn, shooting their spawn shield. That tells you how far forward one team was.
Yeah, it's just they didn't have much they could do. They'd have to break out and really fast, and they unfortunately were not able to. But now they'll have a chance to retaliate here as we move to Clam Blitz on Piranha Pit. Once again, back to one of Kraken's favorite maps. So why don't you tell us all about it?
Clam Blitz, Piranha Pit, better than tower control by a mile.
Oh yeah, I agree.
That out. But a map you definitely need to bring paint on. You have so many different areas you can paint. You just got to go around and get those little corners. Lots of sharky weapons will really like this one. You know, you could bring out something like a roller if you really wanted to be wild and the rest of your team has paint. Brush, you know, ink brush can also put down a decent amount of paint as well. So those Sharky weapons also very much benefit from the style of this map. Very large, very open, and just make sure to also make sure to keep control of those ramps. Though that's the biggest key, is holding the north and south ramp. If you're able to hold those ramps, you hold control of mid and you hold control of the clam economy, which is the most important part for this actual mode. Control that clam economy, and you can get yourself a push once you get yourself a person or two down. Or if you can somehow manage it off the rail, get a flank on there and get a couple picks, or a jump in off that. A little bit more difficult to do on this map. It's pretty obvious. I have seen it work.
Yeah, I agree with you. We'll take a look and see what goes on here as we start our next round. Nothing super surprising when it comes to weapons right off the bat, as both teams move in to control their respective ramps, or at least Infinity's does.
I want to point out something for Infinity. I think they have made a really good choice there by switching to the Jet Sculpture. It puts on more paint than the sniper rifle, more just in general specials too, usually on average than a sniper is going to be able to put out. So it might be the better choice here than the sniper itself. You know, sniper has that faster kill time, and it can go a little bit more on the kill side than the Jet Sculpture can usually do. But that paint, I think, is the bigger key here.
Yeah, I don't disagree. That Jet getting one key pick there as Infinity's does charge in and does actually get the clam in the basket. However, only a few other clams tossed in before they are basically wiped and forced back here into their base, as we got a 10 minutes forward.
Yeah, we see the Jet Sculpture though trying to hold some ground, and they managed to do that and at least give their team some area to move. Missiles and such coming out from Myopsidus, able to go ahead and take that lead back. Ooh. The Shot trying to fight to get a pick on the Nautilus. They're all dancing around each other.
Oh man,
the Shot,
I thought the Nautilus had that several times.
No, not even. The Sniper takes a trade, a huge trade there. That was
that went from one unlikely pick to another unlikely pick. That was good.
Credit to the Shot, you still got a double. 2 for 1 is always an advantageous situation for your team. Take that every day of the week as a Slayer. If you can average 2 kills for 1, that is really good. You know, even a lot of top players, you know, they have those pop-offs. But if you like average out all their games, you know, 2 kills for 1 is still a really solid overall place to be. So putting their team in that situation, good job there for the Shot. As much as you would have liked to take that fight clean, put your team in an advantage situation. And we see 4 specials on one side ready and 2 on the other. Here they come, missiles out from both sides. We see armor out, rays are both ready. We have an Inkjet ready on the other side, but the Jet Sculpture goes down with that ray hoeing.
That's going to be big, and we got an Inkjet fight now too, which these are always entertaining to watch, but I don't, yeah, no picks either. Well, no, there's the pick at the end. There's the pick at the end. Taking advantage of the fact that they fired their jet second, they just pinned them at their jump point. Always a good strategy there, as both teams continue to fight for control of mid here. More armor out, and a jump. Going in and scoring another 20 points for Myopsidus.
Yeah,
and it looks like Infinity's is going to go ahead and push in and just completely annihilate Myopsidus with their base, forcing them to fall back. But even with that, that was an excellent push, bringing their points down to 30 with a 23-point penalty. Just a little more than they need to complete each other, depending on the next score. Infinity's, though, really going to make use of that missiles pressure to force them all the way back here, but unfortunately it looks like they didn't really take advantage of that to push up into their base, allowing them to just completely regain that ground that they just got through the missiles.
4 specials on the side of Myopsidus. It looks like the counter ray coming out, and Delta just pushing forward and getting one off that, and the ray getting the other one.
And there's the jump. Missiles coming out into their combat. Panic missiles, maybe? But nevertheless, they did get the score there, taking off 20 points on that penalty.
Grab the ball! Okay, whew. The reason I was shouting that here is if that Jet Sculptor does not grab that ball there, they lose a bonus power clam, which is really important here.
They're gonna need it.
Just the power clams alone right now that they have on the field, they can score 27 points here. Not enough to take the lead by a mile, but that's a good chunk of the lead that they are down here. They also are holding 10 little clams right now, excluding that extra power there. They have a good solid 30 clams just kind of sitting around.
They've got almost 4 specials ready. They're pretty close to 4 specials, but there comes the Inkjet out of nowhere, taking them out. That's going to be 2 down, so it's 2v4 right now in favor of Myopsidus, who's pushing all the way up to goal against Infinities.
Are they going to score here? That's always a question. They missed.
No, they didn't. What? Oh my goodness. Now they score. Okay, a little late.
That's a question, though, because now they give them another ball. So that's something that's always a question for teams to do. Like, do we score, do we not? When we have such a lead here, I've done it myself where I'm like, maybe we don't score, especially if they didn't have a kitty clam, which in this case they did. So it was going to go to overtime anyways, as long as the other team didn't score. But it looks like we get a score behind us? Yeah. The reason I know that is because the clam thing came up so quickly. And I believe we have more score on the board. A couple more points on the board. So I believe we had a score from behind. That was a sneak in. Unfortunately, we didn't see it.
It had to be there. They had a clam. Should have triggered overtime if it wasn't that. So they should have scored at least 1 small clam if the basket was still open. In that case,
they scored the big clam, Owen. They had to have made and thrown a big clam in. That's because the basket was closed. So we had a sneak in, maybe something from that Nautilus, something like that. Maybe the shot. Well, those two were kind of the two most aggressive. Yeah, it was unfortunate. Things happen. But Myopsidus right now in a 2-0 situation, guaranteed to win this set right now. So good job for them. First one we have seen all day where we're actually in a situation where we're going into game 3 up 2-0. I believe every other one was 1.
Infinity, though, is going to go ahead and try to take this last game to help them with tiebreaker to push them as high as possible here in the bracket. Here on Rainmaker on Manta Maria. What do you think about this stage, Kraken?
I think this is one where we could bring out Hammer. If you want to go spicy on this, go with the Hammer. You know, something like a Brush or a Sploosh 7. Really weird to see, but that street is super deadly, and it's also the biggest choke point in that. If you can clear past the street and into like that lower area where the pedestal is, if you can clear out to that area, that's usually what you need to win on this one. So something like a Hammer can completely clear that, and it's really difficult to get because you kind of have to have one of those weapons that can kind of shoot through it or move to the side and get them. But it's also very easy to be tracked in that if you're trying to pull one of those maneuvers on an enemy Hammer. So I would love to see a Hammer, Sploosh 7, maybe even a K Octobrush, which is something I never say. But Hammer specifically is what we're looking for here.
How dare you, Kraken. But anywho, we'll see what happens here as we are about to start the match.
Here we go on our final game of Low Ink Day 1. Myopsidus vs Infinity. Who will come out on top in this game 3?
Here's the double Sploosh 7. Double Sploosh 7, like you called it. Yeah, they're going to both bring Hammer, and presumably they're going to try to go through the enemy street using that kind of tactic. But looks like Infinities is going to go ahead and take that first pop as Myopsidus paints up.
Yeah, paint key here. A lot of wide areas, a lot of areas to try to shark. You can see that Sploosh on the other team tried to shark. Ooh,
that's great! They're going for the quad! They got the quad! They got it! And here comes the Rainmaker. This might be over. This could be it. Maybe. Not going to call it quite yet, but it's going to be tough. Oh, and they do get a stop right there. Myopsidus with the huge push all the way down to the 7, and they get one last pick before they wisely jump out, having no teammates whatsoever, and regroup. Infinity's going to go ahead and let that Rainmaker reset with no threat to it back in base, and they're going to go ahead and hold mid here, putting out missiles to the 2 on the left.
Who needs a hammer in the opposing street when you can just have a Sploosh 7 just wipe everybody with the main weapon?
That reminds me of one of my old teammates, jeez. But speaking of hammers, there's one. It doesn't do much of anything as it just gets yeeted straight up top, trying to take out the people hiding up there who have since fallen back. But it looks like Myopsidus again going to try to just barrel people with the Sploosh. Hammer almost getting that jet too. Love to see those tosses like that.
That would have been
Especially when they
amazing.
hit.
That would have been amazing. He did tip damage, I think.
Yeah, I think they nicked him, but not enough, unfortunately.
I would have loved to see that. That's just anytime you get those, especially when they're not looking. If you're watching, it's an obvious, but it is just like, oh man. But if you just get hit from behind, you're like, what?
Through the back way. Oh jeez. Infinity's here in street, trying to prepare a way to push forward, but does get caught because of that armor making them visible. As the hammer comes out in the street, and they get picked with nothing. It's very unfortunate for Infinities, who needs to get some things going here with about half the match complete now. And Myopsidus is going to go ahead and start their push up 2.
Here we go, pushing up, finally trying to get maybe some, not necessarily more points on the board. I don't think their goal at this point is necessarily points, it's to kill time and put the Rainmaker in a worse position for Infinity. But when you go 3 down, and the one behind, I don't know if the Jets saw it.
I don't know if they saw it. I don't know if they saw that. What's going on here?
There.
He's still there. He's just gonna sneak right around again. They know he's there, but he's just gonna sneak around again anyways.
Hammer though, Owen. Look at the hammer. It's ready.
Oh,
if someone pushes him in the street right now, they're getting hammered. And they
and they're going to be wiped. As they're wiped as Infinity's pushes up, they have to go get really close here. They're going to have to get close. Do they get close enough? No, they get to 16. They still have a chance here. It's 2v2. As the Rainmaker is mostly being pushed yellow, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and hold it and bring in jumps, and it's going to be a pop. They do get it to 6. They get the lead. Just what they needed by 1 single point. Myopsidus is now in the exact opposite position that they were in earlier, having to push almost to goal in about a minute.
I mean, the first push was within the first, 40 seconds? 30 seconds, something like that. So, I mean, they've shown they can push.
And they were just stalling time the whole time. Infinity's just needed to keep trying until they got 1 push that worked, and suddenly they're in position. But Myopsidus, it looks like they're going to get through the choke point here. So they have another shot here. They didn't need a quad or anything. The Stingray is, though, coming out, forcing the Rainmaker to dance here on street. They do survive that, though. Nautilus does not get that 1 pick there. Does try to get something stopped here. Rainmaker in the corner. Rainmaker does get stopped by Infinities as they desperately try to hold Myopsidus back in this last 30 seconds. Nautilus, they could not quite get either of each other as the 2 teams continue to push here. Infinities once again in control of the street in a much better position than they were a moment ago. But that Sploosh is once again back, and they do reset the Rainmaker wisely, as that Sploosh was in that corner for a reason. And that reason was to take it. Here comes Myopsidus once again, clear through the street. Inkjet with support. They're going to go for the lead. Try to get as much of a position as possible. They're going to go for it here in a moment, I believe.
Yeah, there's 3v3. Here they come. Oh nope, there's too many bombs.
They're just gonna hold it. They've got another 40 seconds. But here's the Stingray. They're gonna go around the edge. Oh, then they get stopped. Infinities does take the last game to give themselves an edge in tie break, as this set ends with a 2-3 win for Myopsidus.
2-1.
2-1 win for Myopsidus. This is not... Yeah, that wouldn't even make sense for best of 5. I mean, it counts as 5, but that's not how you say the winner.
Yeah.
2-1 win for Myopsidus to end the game. But that was a really great last game, even with it being not super relevant for standings, because the winner was already decided, though.
It still matters. You know, that game could have just It should Myopsidus, because of the set win. You know, I have to go look back exactly, but because of everything, the way things break down, they should move up into Alpha guaranteed. Like that. It's a really high % chance just without even looking at the thing. Just because they were 9th, I believe, a win. Somebody with the way the matchups work above you should have lost. So depending on where it exactly fell, the loss, they should move on to the top cut there. But Infinity, that extra game may be the tiebreaker, because once you start to fall down, there's usually a lot of teams that have similar records. The more you're in the middle, the more even the records get. So that extra game very much matters. And Hoenn, every single set today, all 6 of them were 2-1. All 6 of them.
Yeah, and only one of them didn't start with a 2-0 either. So that was pretty good, I think. I think we're doing an excellent job with match selection.
I think we had one other one early on. I think like the second round also was a 2-0 at first, but they still took the game 3 as well, just like we just saw. But either way, looking at that last set specifically, the games were competitive for the most part at times. You know, I think Myopsidus definitely showed flashes where they just kind of were a little bit better on that. You know, the clam push really well. They had a really high score clam push. You know, a little bit better than Infinity's, but Infinity showed they could stick in there, and you definitely saw it in that last Rainmaker game, getting themselves a really good push and not needing like a miracle play to do it. They got a couple picks, and they just kept, as a team, pushing forward. So credit to Infinity. They're also showing themselves that they are very capable to take a strong 2 or 1 game off that set.
Yeah, I definitely think they could have gone further. So we'll have to see what happens tomorrow, and of course, we'll have to see what happens when round 6 does officially end here, because no standings are final at this point. We have to wait till everything ends, everything wraps up, and then take a look at the standings to see where things actually lie. Because even though it might seem, hey, I completed my set, I'm going to make Alpha, some people end up getting a higher position when they finish your set than you. You'll be moved down a position that might knock you to Beta or something. So keep an eye on things, see how things go, and we'll put out who is moving on to day 2 and what bracket you're moving on to when we get to that point here later today.
Alrighty, Hoenn, I think it's time for us to sign off. I'm sure Inky was ready to take a nap.
Yeah, it's late, I think. Not as late as day 2 goes, but Inky will need his rest for day 2, I'm sure. Or just any other shenanigans.
Hoenn, where can the people find you?
Well, you can always find me in the IPL Discord, of course, but for other things, on Twitter at Hoenn Hero, Twitch again at Hoenn Hero as well, and well, that's the main ways to reach me, but you can always reach me on Discord as Hoenn Hero 5770. I'm, of course, in the IPL Discord in the Head TO section if you ever need me for anything IPL related as one of the heads along with Kraken. Kraken, where can we find you at?
You can find me existing at KrakenMare77. You know, same place as Hoenn mentioned, but with Krakenmare. I also just want to quickly shout out Inkfair, who is always behind the scenes, especially for Low Ink. He has, I think this is what, like your 20th straight at this point streaming. So he's been streaming a ton in a row. Want to give him a big shout out and appreciate all you do, Inky. You know, one of the many parts, and definitely one of the individuals that just no one ever sees around, and we're really appreciative. Of course, there's a million other people I could thank, but I don't want to be here till like 8 at night. But I appreciate you all.
Let's just start thanking people for the next 3 hours. That's how long it would take.
Yeah, I
but
appreciate you all.
Thank you very much for hosting 2/3 of Low Ink's tournaments. We're on our 30th here today. But thank you very much, everyone, for watching. We hope to see you on day 2 to see who picks the crown in Alpha Bracket. Anything else, Kraken?
Nope. See you all tomorrow. Woo! Low Ink day 2 tomorrow.
Let's take a nap. Yeah! Oh my god, I love this.